this week?
I have my the way that I do my list. Usually I don't really read the Wikipedia articles for anything other than my have seens and have not seens, other than to generally remind myself of what happened in some of the more boring ones that I don't remember. But in order to keep my list so I can get the names of the things correctly, I do have the IMDb pages open, but there's just no Wikipedia for those particular
Remind
ones.
myself of what happened in some of
Whoa,
the
whoa,
more
whoa.
boring ones that I don't remember.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I didn't realize we were live.
The digital ticket
In
for
order
the
to keep my list so I can get the names of the
Okay,
things
I hear
correctly, I
me.
do the
the
IMDb pages
the
open.
digital ticket for the guy who didn't like
No
musicals, the new
Wikipedia for
version,
those particular
is
ones. Myself of what happened.
is available. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Jordan, I'm kind of tempted.
The virtual ticket
Yeah,
to watch it on YouTube?
yeah.
To watch a thing we've already watched for free on YouTube on
I
YouTube?
mean, it's eventually gonna come. It's gonna come live to YouTube next year, but to watch it early, yeah, I'm kind of tempted if it's reasonable.
Yeah, it would depend on the price.
Cause
Three,
yeah,
three, $3 maybe.
I want to watch that. Nah, I'd go as high as 10.
Okay.
But I am tempted because I want to see that. YouTube next year, but to watch it early, yeah.
Okay, good. We hear you as well. So this podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Where there's stuff.
Sharing that to.
There's stuff and there's things. And you should go and check them out, and they can help you and make a podcast, and then you can be part of the Pantheon and
You can
and
join the Pantheon.
and things and stuff.
And stuff, everybody, and things, and how. Go do that big pre-podcast.
Pre
Just gonna stretch.
5 hour podcast
Just-
stretch.
Stretch that out. Today might be 6 hours. No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
God, I hope not.
I'm kidding. In 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you would like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARETE media.org. Jordan, should we start now? Are we
Yes.
starting now?
I mean, you just read the ad, so
I did just read the welcome to the Spur of the Moment podcast, everybody. I'm your host. I am he who is they, who is them. I am Justin Spurr. And I'm joined as always by he's the co-host. He's also here. He's Jordan. He's the incomparable Jordan. And he's also here. Jordan, he's also here.
I am also here.
He's also here.
I'm also just realizing. There, now you are co-hosting.
Oh
this
yeah.
chat.
Yeah, right. We didn't set the meeting wallpaper. Let's just do that real quick. What should we do? Let's do that. Let's go. It's a little bit dark.
Monster Mash. I feel like it's got to be like green, doesn't it?
I like the night sky because it's night.
Oh, that works.
On today's show, it's New York Comic Con. So there is a boatload of news from that, just like a boatload.
Would you say that it would in fact fill a boat?
I'm gonna ask Jordan's consent right now, because if he says no, I'm going to cut it. Do you care if I spoil the end of this newest season of Wizards?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
I'll probably never watch that show.
Spoiler
so-
alert! I'm gonna spoil
Alright,
the shit out
and-
of the end of that season.
And you're not calling it by the right name. It is the David Henry Vanity Project.
Honestly, the ending not super vain. We're gonna talk about that. Family Guy killed off a major character, Jordan. You'll be shocked who they killed off permanently. We have trailers for Wonder Man, The Bad Guys, which I didn't actually watch the trailer. Bat Fam, The Mighty Nein. We got a trailer description for VisionQuest. What was Gambit gonna be about? A trailer about a Chris Pratt movie that nobody's gonna watch. The Good Boy wants to win an Oscar. They're gonna make a Tangled movie that nobody wants. Who is Robert Irwin? There's so many news. And then later, it's the Monster Mash. It's who would show up at the Monster Mash. Various people. Turns out, honestly, more than I thought. For whatever reason, when I thought the Monster Mash, I was like, it's mostly Frankenstein and Dracula, right? But there's actually quite a variety of people who show up to the Monster Mash. But also, not who you're expecting. He did the mash.
I watched
Monster
bad
Mash.
movies this week, Justin.
I watched weird, horny movies this week, Jordan.
That too. There was
lot of-
there's surprising amount, and a lot of them had
were
to do with
so-
vampires.
All the vampire movies are so. You know what? We're not to give anything away, but just so you all know, vampire movies are unbelievably horny. Like
We'll get there. We'll get there.
they are so horny. We're gonna get there.
It's-
Don't you worry.
Kind of weird.
Stay tuned. Well, there's a reason for it. We're going to talk about it. Stay tuned for how horny vampires are. Let's start off with the trailers. No, let's start off with the news I've been excited to talk about for days. Big announcement for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. They announced all kinds of cast members playing different characters, but the big
And
one...
none of them matter except for one.
One of them, which is Matt Pat, is returning for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 for a more substantial role than some bullshit waiter who no one gives a fuck about. You know who he is? Okay. I'm gonna read what this article says. But Jordan, who is he playing?
He's playing Toy Bonnie.
Toy Bonnie's like my voice maybe all changed and whatnot, but that's me. That's me, Matthew Patrick, and I'm good for him.
My man got a raise.
He got a raise.
He was a bit character in the last one, and now he is one of the antagonistic
but
machines.
Also, what are the odds?
Animatronics. That's the word I was looking
I know
for.
nothing about Five Nights at Freddy's, as previously discussed. What are the odds that it's actually Ness who's trapped in the suit?
Oh no. That's not how this works.
That's not how this works?
Even if Ness got attacked by a Toy Bonnie, which is certainly possible, typically the animatronics that are haunted by dead children. Or in the more recent ones, they're AI.
I had to go to a separate website to pull this story, but how it's written is very funny. It says, back in 2023, YouTube Matt Patrick, creator of the hugely popular Game Theory channel, made a brief cameo appearance in the first Five Nights at Freddy movie, where he mused that breakfast, being the most important meal of the day, is just a theory. But he is set for a more substantial role in the sequel. That's funny.
So my headcanon of
for
how
him.
this went, my headcanon of how this all went down is he was on the last one in filming, and he comes across Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, who they've had this thing going for a while, and he's like, so what do I have to do to have a bigger role in the next one? And he's like, well, I'm gonna need you to be here for more. So, and Matt Pat's like, I'll retire if I can be here for more on the next
stop
one.
making videos about you. You will never see me again if I can be in the next one.
You
And he
won't
was
see
like-
me again.
Wait, so have you seen, before we move on, have you seen that clip of Matthew Lillard just showing up at the panel? Where he's like, if you make this one successful, the third one, mano a mano. Who is he mano a manoing with in the third one?
I guess maybe the main character of the movies, the dude, what's his name?
Didn't he mano a mano him in the first one? Is there like an iconic character that he fights against in this franchise?
Not
Why would he say that?
really. I mean, I guess maybe they could if we're going into the deep lore, maybe technically I guess the person that he goes mano a mano against lore wise is Golden Freddy, because there's one of the kids in it, Cassidy, hates him, and so in Ultimate Custom Night, the one where
Maybe
you
that's
can
what
be
they're
like
talking
any
about.
of the animatronics, and that's like the last of the true Five Nights at Freddy games, the ones that are in that style anyway. Supposedly in the lore, Golden Freddy is the one that's supposed to be William Afton in hell, and he's being haunted, and that's why you can pick any of the animatronics, yada yada yada. And supposedly, if you beat like the final mode in that game, the final thing that you see is Golden Freddy like twitching around on the ground, which is supposed to imply that the haunted spirit Cassidy
Well,
is keeping William Afton in hell suffering.
doesn't he? Isn't Golden Freddy? Wasn't he in the first trailer for this? So maybe there's gonna be a big fight between him
That's
and Golden Freddy.
it could be.
Maybe.
Um, it's
Jordan.
I mean either that or he's going for the traditional answer of it's just the main character that he's talking about and
Maybe.
he's just being weird.
Jordan, it's time for a run of. It's time for trailers. See, Jordan, you know, this week I was very clever. Some weeks I'm feeling proactive, and I actually organized my stories this week, so they're organized. So there will be no me being like. So first trailer, Jordan, and this looks bad. This looks bad, and that's that Bat Fam trailer.
Oh, it looks so bad.
It's clearly a
Bat
sequel
Fam,
to that.
Justin, more like Bad Fam.
It's
God.
a sequel. It's a sequel to that Merry Little Batman movie, which was also terrible. It's so bad that I'm going to contrive a reason for you to watch it. I'm considering adding it to your list.
I mean, no,
It's
don't
bad.
don't do that. If you're gonna get me to do it, then it's a Christmas movie. Save it for
Oh,
Christmas.
I'm in November or December. I'm thinking about doing an Amazon Prime special because there's a bunch of shit on Amazon Prime. I want to watch. I want to watch.
That works too.
Mighty Nein. There's a new episode of Vox Machina, and it's not technically on Prime, but I might fold in for Peacemaker in there, so we can. That'll be the week we watch Peacemaker. I'm thinking about that in November sometime. That would be it because it's an Amazon Prime original. But yeah, this looks terrible, and the part of it that like legit bad. It looks awful. It doesn't look funny. The animation is ugly as fuck. The art style is terrible. It's continuing that god awful fucking movie. Like.
It's really giving me Teen Titans Go vibes, and that's not a
No,
compliment.
because at least Teen Titans Go vaguely gets the characters quasi right, or they
Yeah,
certainly
like
it
this
has
is
their
just
idea of the characters, and this misunderstands Batman in such a drastically offensive way to me, where I'm like, but like
it fills me with a deep-seated rage
but this
and
trailer
just makes me angry.
This trailer kind of upset me because the comments tried to gaslight me into thinking that people always thought this was bad. Like, if you look at the comments on the trailer, all of them are like, this looks shitty. Like, this looks bad. And a lot of them are like, it's called Bat Fam, but it doesn't have any of the actual Bat family. Who the fuck are any of these characters? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you people gaslight me into thinking this was bad. When I said it was bad like a year and a half ago for this show, and everyone gave me shit for it. So, and I think I said it was bad on TikTok too, and everyone gave me shit for it. No, I will not be gaslight. You all thought it was good, and I thought it was bad. I was right, and you're all now agreeing with me.
It's your guys. I mean, clearly that's what happened because they made this show.
Well, I know
Those people,
yeah,
those people liked it enough to make people
you're not
make
wrong.
execs think that this show was worth getting greenlit. It is absolutely demonstratively those people's fault.
I
Fuck
mean,
them.
you're
Fuck
not.
them. Fuck the execs. Fuck anyone who thought that this thing is
Burn
worthy
it,
of being
burn it with
created.
fire.
Burn it and burn them with fire.
Don't delete Final Space from existence. Delete this. Delete this from existence. Don't make it.
Don't fucking not give me good shows like Injustice and like shows
That
that
was one of the
deserve
comments.
to
It was like,
have.
oh, I'm sorry, you're not going to give me another season of Young Justice, but you're going to give me this bullshit instead. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, no, that's fair.
like no, fuck them, fuck that, fuck this, fuck you all.
Jordan, you ever see and I
I'm
didn't.
I'm mad about it and I'm feeling salty and I will not hide
Oh, I
that.
fucking hate it. So I didn't send you this trailer, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch it because I thought the idea of it was more interesting than the actual trailer itself, and I'm never gonna watch it, so I didn't see the point. But I guess for Netflix,
Go
they're
on.
doing another one of those DreamWorks spin-off shows. This time for the bad guys, and it's a prequel about how they became the bad guys. And I was like, you know what?
Eh.
That's not a bad concept for that universe. That works.
I mean, it's not, but my thing is, and it's going to be the same thing for all of those shows. It can have the most interesting idea in the world. You're going from movie quality to TV
Yeah.
quality, and it's always going to look like
It doesn't
shit.
have it. This one also doesn't have any of the
Not even
original voice
just,
cast.
not even just, yeah. And that's the other thing is it never sounds right. So it can be a great, but it doesn't sound.
It's not just that it doesn't
Poe
sound right.
Poe doesn't sound like Jack Black, and he looks like light as hell. Like he doesn't look right.
Yeah, he's floaty as. This is one. I just the art style. I don't watch the trailer. I kind of regret it now because the art style for that show is so pretty that yeah, you're right. It going to television, like well, not television, but straight to streaming. There's no
Streaming
way
is
it's not going to wind up
same
like
as
that.
it's modern day version of straight to DVD.
There's-
It's always going to look cheaper.
There's no way it's not going to wind up like that. I think the worst one, the Kung Fu Panda one, depending on the one, is not that bad. Like the How to Train Your Dragon one has all of the original cast, and so yeah, it looks a little cheaper, but it still more or less looks like the show. The Kung Fu Panda
Yeah.
was particularly bad.
It comes down to and what it really makes me think of is like you remember the Aladdin show?
Yeah,
That show was cheap as balls and it didn't have Robin Williams, but it had the rest of the voice cast.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when you have the like it's very or like the Rapunzel show.
Yes.
That's in 2D. It's not in 3D.
But that show's also really pretty.
But
though.
it has but it has the original voices.
Yeah.
And when you have the original voices, that can really help you push through bad animation.
The Tangled show is legit well animated though. Like it goes from 2D to 3D. There's some, especially in the later seasons, there's some stunning. Like it goes full anime at the end. You're like, whoa,
it's one of those shows. It's actually I actually use that as I brought it up here as an example of one, but I usually use it as an example of a good one of those because
one of the many bad Madagascar shows.
It proves that like if you have a movie that's in 3D. You maybe when doing a TV show should consider higher quality 2D rather than bad 3D.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The worst one of those still is. I mean, I'm gonna have to watch it for this, but it's that Megamind one, which it looked bad. Like it looked bad. The thing is,
I couldn't bring myself to.
Yeah, I
love
can't
that.
stand bad voice matches where it just sounds close enough that it's distracting.
Oh yeah,
it's like the uncanny valley of voice acting, where you're like I can tell that's not Adam Sandler, but it's just close enough that's fucking with my ear. It doesn't sound right. Like I don't know what that's called. I don't know if there is a audio equivalent to the uncanny valley, but that's what it makes me think of. Where it's like it's just not right. It's just like I don't know if getting an original voice or doing an original take would be better, but like the Jack Black one, which is like just close enough to kind of sound like Jack Black. The best one of those in my opinion is the Jackie Chan one because his is different.
Yeah, or like in like when you have Woody toys, for example, and they have Tom Hanks' brother doing it, and it's like sounds just similar enough that you never notice. But
yeah, my favorite of those is the guy he did. His name's James C. But he did Jackie Chan in the animated series. He's Jackie Chan in everything now. So he plays Monkey on the Kung Fu Panda show. And it sounds different. I think he plays it sort of more similar sounding to Jackie for that, but it's still different enough that it's not like off-putting for me. And also, I grew up with him being Jackie Chan, so I guess maybe
it's kind of like
it might be off-putting to you, but
it's kind of like for me when I play the Back to the Future game, and they have the match like for Robert or for Michael J. Fox. Who plays Marty, and it's like he sounds just similar enough that it doesn't bother me, but different enough that it's not off-putting.
Yes, I completely agree with his version. Because I when it comes to reinterpreting characters, I don't want the exact thing that the previous guy did before. If I wanted that, I would watch that. I want a different thing, but I want you to respect the spirit of what that was. But that doesn't. Like, the Joker is the best example. Like I cannot stand when people just do Mark Hamill. That's why I don't really care much for Troy Baker's Joker because it's just not interesting. If I wanted to watch the Heath Ledger's Joker, I'd not Heath Ledger's. If I wanted to watch Mark Hamill's Joker, I'd watch Mark Hamill's Joker. I want to see your version of the Joker. That's why I really like.
It's not even for me that it's boring. Like that's not even how I would put it. For me, it's just you're never going to be able to do what Mark Hamill does.
So don't.
So don't.
Yeah.
Like it just.
My favorite versions of the Joker.
I guess for me, it's an arrogance thing.
Yes.
Like, don't be arrogant enough to think that you could do Mark Hamill
But you
better
could
than Mark
also
Hamill could do
do
Mark Hamill.
you could do a
Just
version of Mark Hamill that like for example,
he can inspire you
yes, like
to do your own version,
what's
but
his
it should still be
face?
your version.
Oh, what's his name? The guy who plays Bender. He's the
Oh,
Joker in
DiMaggio, something DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio. He does the Joker in the Killing Joke, not the Killing Joke. Under the Red Hood, and he has one of my favorite like Joker lines where the realization when he realizes that Red Hood is Robin. And it's just like, so good. So like one of the best Joker scenes in Joker history. Like,
All right.
and I also
you get the crowbar. Take a picture with me in the crowbar. You get one with the boy in the crowbar, and then we'll get all three of us in the picture.
I know a lot of people don't care for the Kevin Michael Richardson Joker, but I like the Kevin Michael Richardson Joker. That's from you remember the show The Batman? It's the Joker with the dreads.
Oh, where he's got the deeper voice.
Yeah, he's got the deeper voice. That's Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Okay,
I love.
That one's not that one's not bad.
That
for me,
Batman show is
it's
severely underrated. It gets a little wonky in the later seasons, but the early seasons, like
for me, it also comes down to what voice I kind of picture coming from the Joker. Also, ultimately comes down to which kind of Joker it is. Because you know how there's like the Jack Nicholson version, there's the Mark Hamill version, there's different types. There's the Jared Leto version. Like I would never want to hear a Mark Hamill voice match or voice impression coming out of the visual style of the Jared Leto version, for example.
So next,
am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Next, the trailer for Wonder Man is out. It's here. Wonder Man is here. That trailer's not really giving us much. I did think it was bold to put out a trailer for presumably a superhero thing that didn't have any superhero shit in it.
So my thing when you sent me this trailer, I was excited because it looked like fun. I was excited until I saw the word television.
Yeah. The fact that it's a show.
Like I thought it was
the same fucking problems that everyone shows, where it's gonna be too short. Nothing's gonna happen for 3 episodes. Then all the interesting shit's gonna happen in the second to last episode.
It's not even just that for me. It's when I see this trailer, I don't see.
Movie.
Yeah, like I'm like, this is a story which is a nice tight 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Kind of.
I don't see it as a show.
It's weird to do a show about make a movie about making a movie. I'm still excited for this. But I am only excited for this knowing I know nothing about Wonder Man beyond the basic premise. The basic premise of it is, to my knowledge,
I have no idea who Wonder Man is.
In terms of Wonder Man himself, what this is. He's making a show about a superhero and he has superpowers. That's the whole gag.
Sure.
I like the fact that they brought Trevor Slattery back. That's fun. Sorry.
I said sure, but who's Wonder Man?
I don't know who he is within the context of the actual Marvel, but I just know that's his bit. That's the story that this is based on.
The
only way I will be 1,000% into this is they need to lean into it. Like, they need to lean into it. They need to take cracks at all of it. They need to take cracks at guys like us. They need to take cracks at those irritating rage baiters. Like, the fact that he's, like, this guy's theoretically gonna be Wonder Man, and he's a person of color. I need at least one guy that they're making fun of one guy complaining about it being woke. You need to make fun of these online complaining about everything that's woke nonsense. You have to do it. That's what this has to be about.
One thing, because I don't know anything about Wonder Man. I'm assuming in the original comics he was white though.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's just me assuming. So they need to have like a scene where there's like a forum or something that they go on to see how the people are reacting to the show. And one of the comments on it needs to be, "Oh my God, I hate that they race swapped him."
Well, in the trailer, you see the original Wonder Man show. The original Wonder Man in the trailer is white. So yeah, absolutely. So this new guy's taking over from absolutely. There needs to be like an internet guy making an internet video being like, "Can you believe they race swapped Wonder Man?" You have to do it. It
They
is
have to.
required. It's the only way I'll be interested in this because that's
It's
funny.
it's so cringy that it's funny.
It's funny. Like that's funny. Like these guys. Like I need you to make. There's about like 1,000. Like I need. Like there's a guy named Marvelous Mark who just screams into the camera like, I need you to make fun of guys like, I can't believe that this is happening. You have to. You have to. That's the only reason to do a show like this.
Now, my one thing, and I'm gonna I'm mostly throwing this out there to stir the pot because I think it'd be funny. I think it's funny to make the comparison. But them making a show about making it like a superhero show is a little bit too similar to She-Hulk when they have the whole her going and talking to the execs and making fun of that.
A little bit, I can see what it's in it, but I think this will be less fourth wall breaking and more just general satire. I think like
yeah. I see.
I did have that thought. I do agree with that. It does have that potential, but I don't think it'll be that.
I see there being a world where it comes out and that, like it's satire and it's making fun of the making of shows and movies like this, yada yada yada. But I see at least one comment saying, "Oh, when She-Hulk poked fun at the nerds, people got their backs up because it was a woman. But when this show does it, it's great and people love." I see that comment.
I mean, you gotta make fun of all of it though. With this, Marvel has to make fun of themselves. They gotta make fun of like, I mean, there is a line that's about people being tired of superheroes. Like, you need to make fun of that. You need to shit on yourself. Like, this needs to be Marvel shitting on itself about how the sausage gets made. It needs to be a parody of how the sausage gets made. In order for it to work for me. That's the only way it works for me.
You know how at the beginning I said when I saw that it was a show, I was disappointed. Now, I don't really remember that. I only watched it once. But in the trailer, do they say whether they're making a movie or a show?
It's a movie. Yeah, he's
okay.
A movie.
So the one way that it being a show becomes funny to me is if in the beginning when they're talking about making this or whatever, the one guy pitches it as a show and then someone comes in and is like, no, that'll be too long, too complicated.
It doesn't work as a show.
And yeah, like they poke fun at the fact that they are themselves making it into a show. That's the one way it being a show works for me. Because otherwise, I'm just gonna say it, I'm tired of the Marvel shows. I don't really.
I know.
They're
Get
too
back
long.
to making movies.
They're not
man.
good. They're just in the style of a movie anyway. Just get back to making movies.
Just get back to making movies.
Maybe that's a controversial opinion. I don't know, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Shit! Did I send you? I sent you the trailer for the Chris Pratt movie, right?
Yeah, you did.
That
which gave me an idea for a completely different movie, which I'm gonna lump in at the end.
Gotcha. It looks fun. I mean, it's a little too much. It made me go a little bit too much. Like, this feels like this was a script for a Black Mirror episode that got away from them. That's what it's given me.
See, what's funny is what it reminds me of.
But also, everyone hates Chris Pratt now, so it's gonna bomb horribly.
Maybe this is a funny callback, but you remember that movie with Shia LaBeouf, Eagle Eye?
I can see why you'd say that.
This reminds me of that.
Yeah, I can see why you'd say that. But it's also one of those trailers that tells you everything you need to know about that movie, where it becomes immediately apparent he's being framed.
Oh, absolutely. That movie is it's straight out of the 2012, 2013 handbook.
Yeah,
it comes right from that time period.
You're not wrong.
It's gonna check every box that you can imagine.
Like it makes me think of the Gamer, all of those generic 2008, 2009 movies that you watch because you're like, why not? Like that. Yeah. That's what it gives me the vibe of. You're like, yeah, sure, the premise sounds intriguing, and then you watch it, and then the big resolution is that it's the police chief who's framing him because because of money. It's a really boring resolution. That's the kind of movie
it's basically like your RoboCop reboot where it's like it checks all the boxes.
Yep.
Which gave me the idea for and I haven't worked out all the details, but here for an exclusive first reveal of my movie on this podcast. It's a movie where it's about how Chris Pratt is taking over Hollywood, and he's like doing like all the voice acting gigs, and like it's a real meta movie, and it's making fun of like that whole thing, that time period where people were like, oh my God, now he's Garfield too. And you really lean into that, and you make it where Chris Pratt is the character, but he's not played by Chris Pratt. He's played by one of the other Chris's. Chris Evans, any of
It's
the
played
other
by
Chris's.
Chris Rock.
I mean, that would be very funny, but one of the other
But
Chris's.
the character's name is Chris Pratt, but he's played by Chris Rock.
He's played by one of the other Chris's.
Oh no, actually, I think it should be rotating, so every scene it switches to a different Chris.
Is a different Chris.
Chris.
That's even better. I love it.
Every scene is a different Chris.
We're making goals here.
There's no explanation or rhyme or reason given to it. Just inexplicably, scene to scene, it's a different Chris, and they rotate. So it's never like, it's not like once one Chris has been the Chris, he's the Chris again later in the movie. It's literally scene to scene.
Especially because in the version that I'm thinking of, he's the bad guy. So like you don't see him in every scene. So like it's just like he's a different Chris in different scenes, and it works. And the movie is about, I don't know, some other character who is like made for this movie, who has to stop Chris Pratt from taking over Hollywood.
So Jordan, finally,
do you think Chris? I feel like Chris Pratt might not want this. Oh God, I've lost my stand.
Oh no, I lost Jordan.
Why am I suddenly not showing up on camera? There we go.
No, I don't think Chris Pratt would love this idea. Jordan, while you're fixing this, I'm gonna move on. So I have to make fun of. I'm gonna end up making fun of the titles of some of these articles this week because they're really stupid. Like,
would you watch my movie though, Justin?
I would watch your movie.
Yeah.
So Jordan, this is the headline. The Mighty Nein trailer previews Prime Video show led by The Last of Us stars, which, like, I suppose.
I mean, they do star.
Inaccurate.
What I mean, okay. No, but in the show, I guess more I'm thinking of the game where what's her name is definitely Ellie.
Yeah, well, that's what it says. The video offers us a closer look at the main characters, including Cleric Jester, Barbarian Yasha. I'm not pronouncing these last names. Who are respectively voiced.
Jester Lavore, and I don't remember Yasha's last name.
Nydorin.
I don't think they really say it a lot on the show, so that's why it doesn't.
They are respectively voiced.
Jordan or something?
But
okay.
It says who are respectively voiced by The Last of Us stars Laura Bailey and Ashley Johnson. So yeah, they're absolutely talking about the game. That's pretty funny. That's a weird way to frame that. I mean, it's made by Critical Role. It's weird to characterize. It's almost as if the people who wrote this article have no idea what Critical Role is, which I think is really funny. Yes, it's based on Critical Role's second Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which takes place 20 years after the events of Vox Machina. As for the trailer itself, it looks fun. It did. Every time I see anything from the Mighty Nein, it just makes me want to skip Vox Machina and just skip right to the Mighty Nein. I'm like, oh my God, they look infinitely more interesting characters than. That's not to say I don't love Vox Machina. I do love Vox Machina, but
their characters are definitely more nuanced, is how I would say.
There's a lot more visual flair to this show than there is Vox Machina.
I mean, even just ignoring the show, I'm just talking the characters, like even from the original campaign. There's more to them. They knew when they made those characters that they were doing a show.
Yeah.
So they have put more thought into their backgrounds. They have put more depth into like the more of themselves into the characters.
I think it's the same could be said of this show because supposedly they've said the show's going to be longer, so I think there's more episodes, and there's less episodes and each episode's longer, or there's more. Either way, the episode lengths themselves are like an hour instead of 30 minutes, which you kind of not a lover of, but you
kind of. I mean, just in terms of the show being long, not necessarily episode length, but like you would have to have more episodes for sure, because their campaign is just longer.
Do you think there's going to be a Hell's Bells show? Eventually,
I think if this does well,
I think this will do well. The Mighty Nein is their most. I've seen way more Jester cosplays than like any other characters. I think it's probably their most popular campaign.
That's because everybody loves Jester to the point where at one point or another, this is not really a spoiler because there's only one character she ends up with. But at one point or another, in one of the behind the scenes thing, it was revealed that at one point or another, each of their characters had a crush on Jester.
Bow, bow. But yeah, looks
Because
fun.
she's great in as that character. It's hard not to enjoy it. I'm
So,
genuinely very excited for that show. I cannot wait. As much as I love Vox Machina and like Vox Machina is to Mighty Nein, what like Lord of the Rings is to like World of Warcraft,
oh
where
yeah,
it's like World of Warcraft is the more cartoony, zany, depth, like you know what, a more
yeah.
fun version, whereas Mighty Nein is definitely like, yeah, they're doing like medieval.
Fair enough. All right, Jordan.
Is the best way I can
Now,
put it anyway.
this trailer that we're about to talk about, this final trailer, I didn't get to watch. You didn't get to watch. Nobody got to watch. But they showed it at Comic Con. So I'm going to read to you the descriptions of it. And it's the trailer for VisionQuest.
Okay.
VisionQuest.
Oh,
You're looking as though you don't know what that is.
I'm guessing it has to do with Vision from
It
Marvel.
does.
It's not that I don't understand. It's that I really don't care about that character.
I didn't think this was going to come out. I thought for sure that they canceled this. So I was shocked as shit to see that a trailer happened. It's like, oh shit, this is coming out? Like, apparently it's coming out like next year. It's like, oh shit, okay. But here's the trailer. So, the trailer showed
Wait.
Bettany back as White Vision from the ending of WandaVision, plus a regular looking human version. There are also human versions of Ultron, who is voiced by James Spader in the second Avengers movie, and the AI programs Jarvis, Friday, and Edith at the end of the trailer. There was a brief shot of the adult version of Wanda's other kid, and that's what we've seen so far. So yeah, we're apparently going to see human versions of all the AIs. Apparently, it's gonna be revealed that all of the AIs are all based off of real people.
Huh.
So my question is though, are you gonna get all of the voice actors and voice actresses who played those AIs? Are they gonna be the real versions of them? Because that would be fun. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
So yeah, who are you gonna get? Who? So wait, I wonder if they're gonna get the AI who was in Peter's suit. I can't remember who that was. Who voiced her? I don't remember. But I wonder if they're gonna get that. Oh, so it says. Okay, so it says they've got actors. So I don't know. I don't know who plays those AI. So I don't know if it's the same actors. But this reportedly is gonna be basically it's the third in what they're calling the Wanda trilogy. So that begins with WandaVision, continues in Agatha All Along, and then will I don't know if to conclude in this, but it will be a part of this. So, as someone who has been following that, I will probably watch it because I would like to see where that continues. And I'm guessing it'll probably tie in to Doomsday or whatever. But apparently he will have all the memories of original Vision, but none of the emotion.
So like what he was in WandaVision.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I mean, I guess, God damn it, I guess I'm gonna have to go watch Agatha All
You
Along,
should.
and
It's actually pretty good.
we're gonna have to do another Marvel episode.
Yeah. Or I mean, we have PG Halloween episode coming up, and she is a witch.
You know, I wish you had said that before because then I probably would have chosen her for this week.
Yeah. I know. That just occurred to me. Anyway.
God damn it, Justin.
It just kind of occurred
She
to me.
definitely would show up to dance at the Monster Mash.
She would. She would dance at the Monster Mash.
She absolutely would dance at the Monster Mash.
She would absolutely dance at the Monster Mash.
God damn it.
No, that show's actually really good. That show was actually surprisingly good. Like
Genuine-
legit. Like legit surprisingly good.
Considering how many bad movies I watched this week, Justin, I'm genuinely upset with you right now.
I didn't even think of it till
for
just
not
now.
having thought of that until just now.
Not having thought of it a week ago.
I will not take responsibility for also not thinking of it. This is on you.
I mean, to be fair, we tried to get away from Marvel for this. But,
We did.
We got a PG Halloween episode coming up. So Channing's Tatum's, he was asked about what his solo X-Men...
The Gambit movie where he would have been Gambit?
Yeah, and Jordan, guess what? It sounds bad. It sounds bad. Apparently, okay. To be fair, you never know if this is true or not, but he says, look, if we had made our Fox version, the script would have never gotten made ever. It was an R-rated romantic comedy, and when I say R-rated, I meant we went for it. We made Gambit the kind of character who could only exist in a movie with Deadpool. We had mutants having sex. It was wild, full on. It was something Marvel and Disney would never do. And that sounds bad. That sounds really bad. To be fair, I've never thought Gambit required a solo movie, but that sounds bad, and I'm glad they didn't make it.
I don't need to see. I don't need to see Gambit. Yuck.
No, I don't need to see Channing's Tatum's. Don't need.
I'm sure some people would love to, but I'm not one of them.
I am not one of them. Jordan, they revealed also
hard pass. Pass on hard.
More Marvel shit, Jordan. They revealed Daredevil's coming back for Born Again Season 2, and there's some interesting stuff happening in it. Number one, he's got a new costume, and it's the costume he was wearing in, that Spider-Man show? The animated one?
Yes, I do know the show. I'm trying to picture it, but I can't.
It's black, and it's got the double D on it. So Charlie Cox is very excited to have the double D, because apparently the double D on Daredevil's chest...
He loves them double Ds.
Double D. But apparently the double D in terms of Daredevil is like the Daredevil's equivalent to like the spider on Spider-Man's chest. Or like it's like iconic. But it's interesting that he now has the same costume as he had in that Spider-Man show. And apparently this takes place it actively takes place before Spider-Man 4 and will apparently tie into Spider-Man. I don't know if he's going to show up. I don't think he can show up because of the legal reasons, but I don't know if they're going to reference him, but supposedly it will connect to Spider-Man 4. So I don't know if that means that maybe we'll see some of the bad guys show up.
I suppose that depends on what the contract is in regards, because I know they're allowed to use Spider-Man in animated stuff, which is why he's he's in so many animated ones.
They're allowed to use animated stuff.
But I don't know, and I know they can't just put him in any movie without getting approval and stuff. But I don't know about live action TV. I don't know. I assume it would be the same as movies.
I'm pretty sure it's the same as movies. But even if you just have the bad guys or like you reference them, that's
legal loophole.
The other exciting thing is they announced for season 2 of Daredevil, Jessica Jones is back.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that show.
Yeah. So she's back. She's going to be giving Daredevil the what for, and that just made me go, I'm gonna have to get through Daredevil season 3. I'm gonna have to rewatch the first 2 seasons, and then I'm gonna have to watch season 3 so I can watch Born Again.
I think I did that for this show. I think I was partway through season 2.
I have to finish season 2 and 3.
So yeah,
I'm not watching The Defenders. I'm not watching The Defenders. That show's bad. I'm not watching it.
It's bad. It's bad, and it should feel bad.
So apparently, Jordan, right? We're kicking off Oscar campaigns, and the Good Boy Indy from the movie Good Boy has sent a letter to the Academy. He wants to
asking if he can be considered as the goodest boy.
He wants to be considered
in my heart.
He wants to be considered. He says, despite my critically acclaimed role in the recent film Good Boy, I have been deemed ineligible for the Best Actor category. This news feels as if someone yanked my leash short, as apparently I'm not a good enough boy for you.
I want an Air Bud rule here.
Oh, like an Air Bud rule? Apparently the Academy just straight it was like, no Air Bud rule. We have made a definitive rule here. No dogs allowed. No dogs allowed.
No dogs allowed.
No dogs a crowd. No dogs.
Dogs allowed.
So apparently, Jordan, it's okay. It's always funny to me how like we keep going. Yeah, the Disney live action remakes are dead. Haley sends me story after story about how they're dead, and then they announce a new one. But supposedly they're announcing a new one, and they're announcing. To be fair, I think you already mentioned it. It was the Tangled one.
The one where I just That was one of those ones where it showed up on my Facebook and I assumed it wasn't real. Like, the art news articles that constantly say about how
Yeah.
X such and such actor is unhappy with the casting choice in the Harry Potter show, blah 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 blah, and you never believe any of them are ever real.
Yeah.
It was one that looked and gave me the vibe like that, where it was like, yeah, Disney has postponed the live action one because something about a casting choice of a person who people didn't approve of,
See,
blah blah
I keep
blah
seeing I
blah
keep seeing stuff
blah
about it, and it's
blah.
all racist. Like
Yeah,
every
that's what I was trying to skirt there, Justin.
every post I've seen on it was like, oh, this time they're gonna finally cast a white girl, and I'm like, oh god. But supposedly, Scarlett Johansson is gonna be in it as I
As
think it's
Rapunzel.
as well as Mother Gothel. I think is the thing, and I'm
Ah,
just like, but can Scarlett Johansson sing? More to the point, can she sing as well as Donna Murphy? I just
uh,
don't believe she can sing as well as
she
Donna Murphy.
she can sing.
Can
She was
she?
in I've oh there was I'm pretty sure she's the porcupine in Sing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think now that you're saying that, I feel
And
stupid. I think she's in a rock band.
there's been a few other things
I
as well, movies that she's sung in, but
I think now that you say that, that
that's
does sound familiar. Yeah, maybe she can sing. Maybe I just don't know my Scarlett Johansson well enough. Ugh.
um I'm gonna
Um.
I'm gonna call you on that one because yeah, even just the one movie, but I'm fairly
mm,
sure it was her
She's
in
no
Sing.
Donna Murphy though.
I mean,
Who is?
who is?
That's the
Yeah,
that's the.
Sing. She's in Sing.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Um. So Jordan, uh, big. So okay, we're talking about okay. We're gonna spoil the big twist in Wizards of Waverly Beyond Waverly Place. Okay, this is your chance. We're gonna talk about it for probably 5 to 10 minutes. You can skip ahead, or you can hit mute while I talk about it, and then I'm muting in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. So Jordan, in regards to that show and its main character Billy, what is the most strikingly obvious twist you can think of in regards to that show?
Justin dies.
What is
Or
the
Alex
sec?
di- or Alex dies.
Okay, put a pin in that. What is the second most obvious twist regarding the
I mean, that
relationships between the characters?
the main character dies.
No. Regarding the relationships between the characters, how they are related.
That she's Alex's daughter.
Yes, she's Alex's daughter. Big twist. She's Alex's daughter, Jordan. Turns out that she's Alex's
Okay.
daughter, and also Alex dies at the end.
Apparently, my brain just goes to a morbid place because
Yep.
that was not the most logical twist
No,
that possibly.
I mean,
I assume that someone sacrificed themselves to stop some great evil.
you're not wrong. That is you're spot on. That is exactly what happened, and your instinct to say Alex was unbelievably correct. Yes, Alex throws the big bad guy through a big portal, pushes it through. He goes, "I
Okay.
love you, daughter," and then pushes her through a portal. Pushes him through a
Oh, so
portal.
they both go through.
Yeah, they both go.
Her and the bat.
her and the bad guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
because then they have a convenient excuse for why Selena Gomez doesn't have to come back until the show is over when they rescue her from this evil
pretty
mirror
much.
portal.
I mean, it was enough that like what's his face, David Henry had to come out and be like, "Oh, Alex is tougher than that." Like, yeah, it's Wizards of Waverly Place. They're not gonna kill off Alex Russo. That would be wild if they did.
She's definitely alive in there, but now we have a convenient excuse for why she doesn't have to come back for a long time.
Look, I will say, once they reveal, they like Selena Gomez gets some standout acting in the scenes where she gives up the daughter. But like you'll never guess who the dad is. No, I
The
mean literally,
werewolf.
you'll never guess who the dad is because it's some guy you've never heard of.
Oh,
It's just some
okay.
random guy. The whole bit
I
is her
I just
grandpa wants to
assumed.
steal her power or use her power to open up a portal or whatever.
I just assumed that it was like, classic Disney trope of she's still with the boyfriend that she was with when
No,
she was
it's
15
it's
years
none of
old.
the love interests from the original show. It's a random guy we never see, who is the son
Cool.
of some evil bad guy, and because it's Wizards of Waverly Place, is not interesting or compelling. And but I was just like, wow, it's a little dark for you, Wizards. Like character death is a little dark. I mean, yeah, she's obviously gonna come back in the next season, but
Justin,
um,
did you see her die or did she go off screen?
she
Because if she went off screen, she's not dead.
no, it's pretty much exactly what you said. She pushed the bad guy through an evil portal.
Yeah.
I mean, that
So
was that
so
was,
she's not
that
dead.
was in fact a pretty spot on guess. In fact, it's so spot on. I suspect you already knew when you cheated.
I actually didn't. I just know that that's
Mm,
typical fucking Wizards of
I'm gonna,
Waverly
I'm gonna,
Place behavior.
I'm gonna trust you on this.
I think you mentioned something about a portal to me, but I don't know.
Um,
I don't listen to half of what you say.
I mean that's fair. I don't listen to what you say either.
It's a real attention deficit disorder problem. Like I think I'm not capable of paying attention.
So
I blame society.
it's clearly society's fault. So the announcement that for Zootopia 2 cast, they're adding a new cast member, and cast members to stuff not usually all that interesting to me. But I kept this story because the title of the article was once again really funny. Um, Zootopia 2 cast adds Dancing with the Stars star Robert Irwin in new role. That's the thing we all know him for, Jordan. The fact that he was on Dancing with the Stars.
I mean, that's not what we all
I
know
mean,
him for, but also I told you about this one. This was one of my news ones.
Again, it's not technically untrue. He is on Dancing with the Stars, and he is a star on that show. But I mean, that would have been like
I mean,
Australian wildlife
that's not what.
conservationist
I
Robert
mean,
Irwin.
no, not yeah. I was gonna say he's just the son of Steve Irwin. That's what he's known for.
Well,
That's why he's
I mean,
that's why
no,
he's as famous as he is.
he's developed his, I would say, his own independent identity apart from the dad. He hasn't made being Steve Irwin's son his entire identity. I would give him more credit than that, but he's certainly not Dancing with the Stars star. I thought that was funny. And then finally, Jordan, Family Guy has
The
killed
chicken
off
died.
an iconic character, Jordan, and I bet you can't guess which character that is.
It's the chicken.
They killed off the chicken.
Ernie.
Ernie the chicken. He's dead, and Meg killed him by cutting off his head.
I had seen that, so it was funny because so this was one of those ones where it popped up on my Facebook. It's like famous Family Guy character
Oh, yeah, you
dead,
click and you're like,
and
oh, which
and, and
character
I
could it possibly be?
I'm like, oh, do they mean the character or do they mean the voice actor? So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
what voice actor died? Because I just assumed that it wouldn't be newsworthy if it was a fictional character. But then I should remember this is also the show where everybody thought Brian died, and
Yeah,
they brought
yeah.
Brian back.
They will
So
eventually bring back the stupid
they'll
chicken.
bring him back. He's not. No character.
Once they
If they can think of a thing that makes him funny and relevant again, they'll bring him back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if they did it where it's like Family Guy crossed over with like Futurama, and they could have set pieces throughout the Futurama plays, they'd bring him back just like they did for The Simpsons.
Yeah, if they can find a way to bring back a funny chicken gag, they'll do it. They just
Oh,
made the
absolutely.
characters temporarily retired until they can think of
Like
something to do
even
with
if
them.
they have it where it's like the son now becomes Ernie, and that's the joke is now it continues on,
So that would be
but now
funny.
it's the young chicken. Like that, they'll do something.
That
Some
would be
version
funny.
of him will remain.
Yeah, they'll bring
It's-
back his son or his grandson. They'll find a way to bring back the chicken. But I just thought that was funny. It was like famous Family Guy character is dead, and you're like, I mean, again, I suppose he is a well-known character
He's iconic in his own
in
way.
his own right. I mean, I thought maybe they were like Joe or Quagmire, but no, it's just the chicken.
It's the chicken.
They're putting the chicken away. Jordan, that's the
It's the greased up deaf guy. They put away the greased up deaf guy.
Greased up deaf
You're
guy.
never gonna catch me. You wasting your time. See you in the theater.
That's it. That's it.
That's the news.
That's it. We did a dance. We did a little
The
dance.
news.
The news. It's school.
Ooh.
Today's show is once again, and will continue to be until they are no longer needing of assistance. It's once again Wild Education. Please click the link in our description to support their Indiegogo. They
Their
need to
cause.
move their cause. Won't somebody help the animals?
Somebody think of the animals.
When I get off here, I'm going to link. Leanne did a big interview with a scientist that is now live. You can go there. You can support them to donate to the cause of helping these animals find a home and supporting them. And by doing so, you help us out. That'd be really great.
Help
Thanks,
us,
guys.
help them, help you, help yourself, help some animals.
Some little animals. Some cute
Think
and
of
cuddly
the animals.
They're cute and they're cuddly.
Or if you don't think of the animals now, when?
When will you talk about the animals? Or even think about them for that
Do
matter?
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Jordan.
Do it. It was the MASH.
So on today's episode, it was the MASH. It
was
the
the
Monster
Monster
Mash.
Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
So today we're talking about, because once again it's because it's coming up Halloween. We're talking about vaguely. Oh my God, Spooky Jordan! Spooky Jordan's back. We didn't think Spooky Jordan was coming back this year, but he came back. He's just Jordan, but he's vaguely spooky. He goes. Ooh. But today we're gonna talk about all of the monsters that might show up at the Monster Mash. Jordan, who might show up at the Monster Mash?
Well, you got Frankenstein. You got Dracula. / vampires in general. You've got witches.
You got the mummy.
You got the mummy. You've got you could have the Invisible Man. You could have the creature from the Black Lagoon.
The creature from the Black Lagoon.
You could have zombies, but we did zombies last week, so we tried not to do any of those.
We tried not to do zombies.
And you could have ghosts.
And goblins. And ghouls. And other such vague Halloween things.
And things that go bump in the night.
So.
Also, one of the ones that popped up, one of the ones that popped up when I looked up things that show up to the Monster Mash, was the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So I almost watched the Disney version just to be funny.
That's funny.
But I decided not to.
That's funny. Jordan.
Just all these monsters from the Monster Mash, and then sitting in the corner is Quasimodo from the Disney version. My first movie was Frankenweenie. He'd be the mascot. He would show up to the Monster Mash, and he'd be the mascot.
Master.
So this is directed by Tim Burton. It's basically, what if Frankenstein was a kid who wanted to bring his dog back because his dog gets hit by a vehicle, so he does that,
and he brings it back using science.
But then it also becomes like a what if you had I'm trying to think of a good comparison and I can't, but it's like a monster movie also, and I know that sounds funny, but not like monster like Halloween kind of monster, but monster like Godzilla kaiju style monster.
Yeah.
Because the Igor finds out that Frankenstein has brought his dog back and forces him to show him how he does it, and then the other kids find out and they do their own version, and the cats and the dogs and the fish and it's a real house of horror, man. Horror! But it's also cute and fun, and I had a good time.
All right.
I had a good time.
What's it? Stop motion Tim Burton affair? It's based off of I think he had. There's a short which I've never watched. I've seen this movie. I watched it for the show. I don't remember.
There's a live action.
I've seen it once.
There's a live action half an hour thing which is on Disney. But there was something I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so it's funny because there's been for years the fan theory, which my headcanon kind of likes it, but where this the Corpse Bride and Nightmare Before Christmas are one story. Where it starts with this one, where he brings his dog back and his Frankenstein stuff, and then he grows into the one from the Corpse Bride, and finds the Corpse Bride there, and that's like the Sally or whatever, and the Jack, and then it becomes the Nightmare Before Christmas, where he's then dead. Like the character is the same, the one character is the
It's
same, not all
believable.
of them,
I believe it.
but
I believe it. It's
um,
believable.
and it doesn't. There's some holes in it, and there's better explanations of it. That's the very rudimentary version of it, but always makes me laugh. Anyways, that's Frankenweenie and a tangent.
All right. So my list is a Wolfman sandwich. So it begins. The bread is the 2010 Wolfman, and then it ends with the 2025 Wolfman. And the 2010 Wolfman is an adaptation of the original movie, which I thought was based off of a book, but it's not. It's its own original idea. And the very basic plot of it is uh, Lawrence Talbot's brother is mysteriously been killed, and he goes back to his home, which he has left, and to see his estranged father and investigate what has happened to his brother. And in the midst of it, he discovers that there is a werewolf amongst him, and he gets accidentally bitten and thinks he's a werewolf, and they commit him to a mental institution. And the guy's like, if you turn into a werewolf, I will sue, or you'll turn into a werewolf as soon as I grow wings and fly out that window. And that instantly became Chekhov's window, where you knew that he was going to go through that window. One of the funniest things I ever watched.
Some point, somehow, some way, he was going through that window.
The first time I watched this, I watched it with my dad, and I'll never forget him leaning and going, "That man is definitely going to sail through that window." Sure enough, he turns into a vampire and he sails right through the window, gets impaled on spikes. This movie is gloriously violent. If you want to see a werewolf just tear men apart in the most gruesome, bloody way he possibly can, it is deliciously violent. It's where I learned that the classic Universal style werewolf, he has a particular look to him, and this one is very definitely an adaptation of that. It's also got Anthony Hopkins in it, and big spoiler alert, you find out that midway that Anthony Hopkins is the werewolf. He traveled to some far off country, got bit by a boy, caught lycanthropy, and became a werewolf. And up until recently, he accidentally killed the main character, Lawrence Talbot's mother, and ever since then he's locked himself away, and he became infatuated with the love interest of the movie, and the brother wanted to take her away from him, so he got drunk, mad, and killed the brother, and has realized that he's accepted the beast part of him, and has decided that he's just going to let himself turn into a werewolf every full moon and kill people indiscriminately. And there's a big fight between him and the main vampire at the end, where the Anthony Hopkins vampire randomly tears off his shirt for no reason. He just tears off his shirt. He's standing there and they're posturing up, and just for no reason he's like, and he only does it so you could tell which vampire or which werewolf is which when they fight each other in the final fight. It's the only reason. It's the only reason why he takes off his shirt. Otherwise, there's no reason for it. But it's a very fun movie. It's like, if you like, I don't find, at least in this context, I didn't find it particularly frightening or scary, or like there are, I guess, a couple of jump scares that might be effective to somebody who finds werewolves scary, I guess. But it's more fun in the sense that it's a great, cartoonishly over the top, bloody and violent movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. I've been a rampant apologist for it for years. I know it's a poorly received movie. I don't care. I still like it. That is... Jordan, do you remember The Wolfman?
No, not really.
No, you don't remember this movie?
Sort of something that I've become aware of as I've watched a lot of these kinds of movies. They're not memorable to me for the most part.
Fair enough.
There are some which are, but they have to kind of do a lot to become memorable to me.
This
Mostly they're just generic monster movies.
this went. If it wasn't ultra violent, then I probably wouldn't remember it. But it goes into my back catalog of movies I enjoy because they're violent. So remember Immortals?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough that I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like it's just one of those movies where it's like, yeah, or Crank, where you put it on because it's
Yeah,
over the top
like
and violent.
it's good bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's slop.
This is not slop, but yes, it's
like
just
no, but those kind of movies.
it is
That's what you're
otherwise
describing.
a fairly
Popcorn. It's popcorn
flick.
movie.
Yeah, it's otherwise a fairly by the numbers Victorian era supernatural thriller that isn't very memorable if not for the extreme violence. Anyway, that's the Wolfman.
Okay, so I will say, for a great number of these, um, there. I already said I don't find monster movies to be particularly memorable, um, so keep that in mind. Uh, I want this one, and also you said that yours is a mummy or something sandwich. Mine is not a sandwich. You could, I suppose, call mine a mash,
A
monster
mash.
mash, if you will. Yes, I am proud of that. No, I'm not ashamed.
You should be.
But this movie is a vampire one. It's Dracula, the original living vampire. Um, and so basically, from what I remember of this one, it's in a more modern-ish time. Um, and we
Modern-ish.
follow timeless, I guess. Like the idea is like it's not ancient or not like like what you think of when you think of Dracula, like super oldie times, but like they don't specifically say the year.
It's the faraway time of the 1980s.
But so we follow Amelia Van Helsing instead of whatever the guy version of his name is. Um, and she's trying to hunt a killer who follows a pattern of red hair, a certain age, um, yada yada yada, and trying to find a killer who's targeting women, and the way in which he's targeting women, because we see the one girl die, is he seduces them, has sex with them, and then drains their blood. And
That's pretty much what it's pretty much what
it's pretty classic Dracula.
that's what Dracula does. As we previously discussed, vampires are weird and horny.
Are weird and horny.
So horny.
And so yeah, there's definitely I believe this one had nudity. Not that that's in and of itself important, but I had a lot of that this week, and it's weird. If I had like a quarter for every time I had nudity in my movies this week, I'd have.
You're gonna say every time I saw a boob, weren't you?
I was maybe.
I had a quarter for every time I had a boob. I'd have several quarters and a smile on my face.
I'd have quite a few quarters, and I'd be pretty happy, you know. I'm not saying that, like this is are bad things, but it's just weird.
I'd have enough for some bus fare and have a big wide smile on my face.
I mean, you know. Anyways, so in this version, so there's a certain point in this movie where, because Amelia is a lesbian. And so yes, we do get some lesbian makeout scenes, and it is wonderful. But this episode's gonna get weird.
Already has. Go on.
Her girlfriend, wife, I think they're
You're
married.
expecting that this was based off of a PG rated song, that it would be a PG rated episode? Pull your head squarely out of your ass.
She ends up getting taken by the mysterious killer who we all know is Dracula. And so that's one thing in this movie where it's like it's I
Do people never
of
read
the
a
movie
book about vampires?
of the movies that I watched this week, surprisingly, it's not one of like it's one of the better ones, but it's still bad. Uh, the guy who plays Dracula is I can't say he's the worst actor I've ever seen because I've seen The Room, but
Not unfair.
he's wooden and stiff and not in a way that works with Dracula.
Fair enough.
Um, and there's some bad acting, uh, and
There's a bit of bad acting. You could tell that must mean it was real. If you're like it's bad acting, that must mean it's really bad acting.
I mean it's not the worst acting I saw this week.
Usually that's how you
But
can tell it's bad acting. Is if Jordan's like it's not good acting, that means it's horrendous.
or
acting.
if I notice something in the editing,
Yeah.
then it's bad. It's bad editing. That's a tease for a later movie. God, that I hesitate to call it that. Anyway, this movie was acceptable. I think that's the nicest word that let's just put it this
It
way.
was passable.
I'm being kind. So I've got the IMDb open, and so the rating that it has on here with 708 ratings is 2.8 out of 10.
I need you to know you do this to yourself. You pick movies on title alone. You do it all the time.
I mean, no. If I'm being honest, more this week, I went by. Is it on something on streaming because I didn't feel like having to try and procure a whole bunch of other things.
Jordan, is that it? Do you
Yeah,
have anything further?
I don't think there's much else to say about this one. Oh yeah, no, there is. The way it ends is so at one point our girl gets bit, but they do end up killing Dracula. And from what I remember, the way that it ends is we have the Van Helsing girl who then has fangs, and she's now a vampire as well. As if they thought they were going to get a sequel, I
Wait,
guess.
it ends with
Guess.
Van Helsing becoming a vampire?
Yes,
Kind of flies to the entire point of Dracula.
it really does.
That's not what's supposed to happen. Van Helsing's not supposed to. Van Helsing is the one who beats Dracula. One of the ones who beats Dracula.
I mean, she did beat Dracula.
She just became a vampire.
He just also then had teeth that were pointy, as if she may be a vampire.
Okay, Jordan.
But that is Dracula, the original living vampire.
So Jordan, remember how how up until this point we've been like vampires are really horny? We really have to get you a new stand.
We do because this one is not fun.
Maybe we'll think about that after the podcast. Okay.
Go on.
Anyway, Jordan, you know how up until this point we've been like vampires are really horny?
We may have mentioned it once or twice.
So, have you ever said to yourself, you know what else I wish was horny? Frankenstein. I wish Frankenstein
No.
was weird and horny.
I've never once thought that.
Have you thought, Jordan? Have you ever watched a Frankenstein thing and been like, this would be so much better if Frankenstein had sex with the monster?
I'm not dignifying that with a response.
Because Jordan, if you had thought that, then boy, have I got the movie for you. It's a movie called Lisa Frankenstein.
Was yours also just softcore porn, Justin?
No, it wasn't. Lisa Frankenstein, Jordan. Starring Catherine Newton, who you would know.
Spoiler for a future movie.
Jordan, it contains stars. Let's start here. Directed by Zelda Williams.
Oh, you mean that Zelda Williams?
Yeah, that Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter. In her first directorial debut. Starring...
when did this come out?
Within the past couple years.
Huh. Cool.
Starring Catherine Newton, who you know from Supernatural as Castiel's kid. The blonde hair one. She was in Detective Pikachu.
I don't remember him having a female child.
And
you mean the human?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I can't specific. I think I know who you're talking about.
And it also stars Cole Sprouse. And she is Lisa, she has the most unfortunate name ever, which is her name is Lisa Swallows.
Yeah,
And,
I bet she does.
yeah, exactly why it's an unfortunate last name. And she is sad and depressed
I bet she is with a last name like that.
um, because her
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll pull it
um,
together.
her mom was killed by Jason Voorhees. Sorry. An axe wielding psychopath wearing a hockey mask, which looks suspiciously like
Oh,
Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees. Okay, yeah,
He
yeah.
gets
Yep,
killed by
yep.
that, and her dad immediately marries another woman who has a daughter who is like the nicest girl ever. She's like super nice, and she just wants what's best for Lisa, but Lisa is obsessed with. She goes and she hangs out at this graveyard, doting over this grave, and one night the grave gets struck by lightning, and oh, it's funny how you're like, we didn't do zombies, because this movie kind of is it's really more of a zombie movie than it is an adaptation of Frankenstein. But anyway, the grave of the guy of this guy, she's been, I don't know if the audience can hear that. That's a lot of sirens.
I heard it through yours, not mine.
Really? Then they definitely heard that.
Now I do hear it.
That's a lot of sirens. Sorry, that's distracting. It's really distracting when I try to power through until it goes away. Wow, that is a lot of sirens though. That can't be good. Anyway,
Hopefully our power stays on.
the whole thing with Lisa Frankenstein, with Lisa Swallows, is she is really like quiet and shy and reserved, and she gets her the stepsister takes her to this party, like dresses her up as like, oh, if you put on makeup you'd be pretty kind of deal, and she winds
That's why she swallows, because she can't leave any evidence.
She winds up at this party, and her science partner tries to molest her, basically, and she leaves the party, and yeah, that's when the grave gets struck by lightning, and it brings back to life this old, like, Victorian era guy who, like, a piano player who died when he discovered his wife was cheating on him and left him, and he, like, follows her around, and she's, like, hiding him and stuff, and he kills the stepmom, who is awful, like, she's like this mean, awful woman, and he kills her and cuts off her ear, and she puts him in this tanning bed that she has for some reason, and like puts him in it and like turns it on, and the ear gets like attached to him, so now he has a functioning ear. And then it goes on, like she's has this crush on this guy, and her relationship to the monster is more of like friendship. She's like friends with this monster, and eventually the monster she decides to kill the science partner who tried to molest her. The monster kills her, and they cut off his hands, and they reattach the hands, put him in the lightning, and now he can play the piano again with his hands. And
this movie sounds weird.
She eventually, like, she starts to fall in love with the monster or whatever, and the whole deal is she's I hate that, she's a virgin, and it's all about who's she gonna have sex with. And so it gets to the end of the movie, and she decides that she's gonna have sex with this boy that she's into, and she goes over to his place, or she goes to find him, and he's not at school. So like, oh, well, if he's not at school, he must be at home. So he goes home, and she discovers that he's sleeping with the stepsister, and that they're into each other. And she has
that took a turn.
The monster kills him, and she's like, oh man, I love you, but we can't be together physically. And he's like, oh, and he looks at her, and so she cuts off the guy's dilly dally and sews it on to Cole Sprouse as the monster. And Dr. Frankenstein has sex with the monster, Jordan. And it gets to the point where the cops are like, they're basically, how they cover killing the stepmom is the stepmom is gone to some sort of event, and they kill her before she can go. And so she hasn't come home yet, and they're starting to get worried. So the cops are investigating where she's appeared. And so Lisa is like, well, they're going to find me, so you have to put me in the tanning bed and kill me. And the movie ends with she's now dead, and the movie ends with she's laying in his lap, and it's implied that they're now married, and he's like reading to her, and he can now talk. And yeah, that's how the movie ends. It's really weird. It's really not really Frankenstein for a great many reasons, some of which you've probably picked up on. Starting with the fact, I mean, she's not Frankenstein. Like, her last name isn't Frankenstein. His name isn't Frankenstein. The name Frankenstein never comes up. The only real tangential attachment to Frankenstein is the, like, bringing a dead person back to life with lightning. But that's it. Like, in Frankenstein, throughout the story, Dr. Frankenstein is not attaching body parts to the monster. I mean, he also definitely never has sex with the monster or is ever otherwise attracted to it. And he's also never friends with the monster. Again, it kind of just completely misses the point of Frankenstein.
She's not a Frankenstein. She's just a necromancer.
Yeah, right.
She's just a necromancer who fell in love with the thing she necromanced.
So weird. It's so weird. Yeah, it's very strange. Very strange movie for Zelda.
I mean,
Williams
it just really sounds like she made iZombie.
Kind of, not really.
You know, person falling in love with a monster.
Yeah, but he doesn't eat brains. He's not technically a zombie. Like, that's it. He's basically a zombie, but he's not technically a zombie.
He's not a zombie. He's a ghoul, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's technically a version, I guess, of a kind of Frankenstein's monster, in the sense that Frankenstein's monster is brought to life using lightning. That's what makes Frankenstein's monster. That's the whole deal, is that lightning is supposed to be what's the word? Like, comparable to, like, Prometheus, or to the act of life. Like, the using lightning to bring people back to life is like a key part. Yeah, it's like a key part of Frankenstein. So yeah, in that sense, that's really the only way he's Frankenstein. Is otherwise not Frankenstein. And Jordan, I mean, they probably would go the Monster Mash, but they'd be doing it in the corner, and it'd be awkward for everybody. Weird. Very weird. That's Lisa Frankenstein.
I guess I forgot in the last one. I mean, the vampire would go to the he would go to the Monster Mash, and he'd try to seduce the redheads and drink their blood.
Would he hang out with the other Draculas?
Yeah, probably. He'd be polite, cordial.
Next
is a movie which was also incredibly forgettable. So we got.
I thought you were going to say it's pornographic.
No, we're not there yet. I tried to break up my vampire stuff. But this one is called A Werewolf in London, or in England. I don't know why I want to keep saying in London. But it's a werewolf in England.
Is it? It's not a werewolf in London. I thought the name was
It's a werewolf in England is the one that I watched. There is probably a movie called A Werewolf in London, which is probably better. But the one that I watched is in fact called A Werewolf in England.
I've seen one of them. I think it's A Werewolf in Paris I've seen.
It is not very memorable.
It is not very good.
So, I'm gonna be honest. All I really, when it comes to monster movies, let me preface it with this. When it comes with monster movies, some of these movies are literally just monster movies. So movies where it's like like a Freddy movie or like a Jason movie, where it's just a horror movie about things that are killing you.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
I mean, that's technically what werewolf movies are.
But I just mean there's not a whole lot to say that I can recall. They end up in a remote countryside inn, and there's flesh-hungry werewolves in the surrounding woodlands. and it's them trying to survive. That's what this movie
In
is.
one location, will the werewolves try to eat them?
I don't remember them moving, but I don't remember much of this movie. This movie didn't. It. I mean, it's again one where it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Um, it has a IMDb page, and of the 2.4 thousand people that watched it, it rated 3.7 out of 10. So I think that really gives you an idea of how good this movie is.
All
And
right.
that's all there is to say about A Werewolf in England. There was a werewolf. He was in England.
So this is evidently not related to the werewolf in Paris movies.
I'm assuming not.
Interesting.
I'm assuming it's one of those classic portmanteaus. I don't think I used that right.
No.
A movie where you name it vaguely similarly to a thing that is popular, so people go and watch it because they think it's the other thing.
That is what this sounds like.
I think that's what this is.
Hey, that's perfect. That leads it great into my next thing.
That segues very nicely.
That segues very nicely into a movie called came out 2024. Stars Nicholas Hoult and Johnny Depp's something Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter. It's a movie called Nosferatu. Jordan, let me ask you this question.
17.
Jordan, are you familiar with Nosferatu?
The werewolf?
No.
Or not werewolf, vampire. He's a vampire.
He's a vampire. Jordan.
Not specifically. I'm really only aware of him because I'm pretty sure that's what the grandpa's name at Hotel Transylvania.
I think you're right. So Jordan, do you know nothing about Nosferatu?
Not particularly.
So the thing about Nosferatu is based off of a 1921 silent film, which I don't know if it did violate it, but it's basically legally distinct but not dissimilar to Dracula. So it's basically Dracula, but all the names have been changed just enough to be different. So Dracula, instead of being Dracula, Count Dracula, he's Count Orlok. What's his face? Well, instead of being Van Helsing, he's Von Franz. Instead of being Renfield, he is I can't remember what his name is, but you get the idea. You get the point. They're all the names are slightly different, but it is exactly the same plot as Dracula. He Nicholas Hoult has been hired to sell Count Orlok a house in London. Count Orlok comes to London and wants to seduce the guy's wife. They stay. It's the whole deal. The plot is exactly the same as Dracula. It's just the names have been changed. And this movie is otherwise just kind of it's creepy, and it's definitely got an atmosphere that's really unsettling, and it's not. I thought it was a pretty by-the-numbers Victorian, once again, by-the-number Victorian era horror movie where all the characters talk like they're in maybe not Elizabethan, old-timey time speak where they all talk in weird English. There's some creepy imagery, but the big thing is Nosferatu is really creepy. Like, he's creepy and upsetting. And this, like gross, creepy and upsetting. He's got a weird, creepy mustache for some reason. It's very odd. But the difference between this and, to be fair, I've never read the original Dracula book. And it's been a while since I've seen the movie, the original movie. But the key difference between this and Dracula, at least this version of Nosferatu, is the girl made a deal with the Count when she was a kid. So like when they say in this version of it, they sort of lean more into like he's a demon, Like, so he doesn't control bats. He controls rats. It's more about him bringing a plague, and he's more like demonic. So when she's like being possessed by him, she's more actually she's a possessed demon kind of thing. But yeah, so when she was a little girl, she made a deal with him that she would be with him in the marital sense, and there's all sorts of weird allusions to the fact that like they would find her. This is once again where I guess we'll get into the history of vampires. Vampires in media are a metaphor for promiscuity.
Promiscuity?
Yeah. And a lot of vampire-related stuff is it back in the day where it was metaphors for like STDs and stuff. So like a lot of Dracula's metaphors is for women who just it's a statement on women who have sex out of wedlock, basically. And so that's why Dracula is a metaphor for being seduced out of marriage, basically, out of
or seducing.
And so this movie is otherwise not really. There's a couple of scenes early on that are sort of upsetting. Yeah, it was like I say, Orlok is really gross and creepy looking, and so he tricks the husband into annulling the marriage to the girl for a sack of gold. And then later on in the movie, she gets upset with him. She's like, you sold my marriage for like a sack of gold. Like it was nothing. But in his defense, he was there to sell the Count a house. And the Count provided him a contract that was written in a language he couldn't read. And he was like, oh, it's a simple formality. Just sign the thing. Don't worry about it. And so he like tricked him into signing it. And he never says like, yeah, man, he was creepy and unsettling and weird, and he presented me a contract and he bamboozled me. Like he never says that. There's a lot of weird sex scenes in this that are weird. Like at one point, so he comes just like in Dracula. He comes to London, and he brings with him a plague they call Nosferatu, and so it makes people sick and crazy and whatever. And so the one guy who I don't know what her character's name is in the original version, but in most versions of Dracula, she's the girl that Dracula bites, the one that's a friend to the main girl. In the original Bela Lugosi version, she's in that too, but she's the first woman that he bites. So her husband, basically they invite this movie's version of Van Helsing, played by William Dafoe, and he's like, yeah, it's a vampire. And the guy's like, I don't believe in vampires. None of that's possible. Like, that's impossible. None of that exists. And you need to admit that none of that exists. And Nicholas Hoult comes back after having been at the Count's. He escapes the Count and he comes back. And he's like, no. Everything he's saying is true. He's a vampire. This is 100% legit. And the guy gets infected with the plague. And it ends with, they find him. He's died from the plague. And his pants are around his ankles. And he's on top of his wife, who has died after becoming a vampire.
Okay. I don't know how to respond to that.
No, neither did I. And so so then as it gets to the end of the movie, she kind of appears to be like slowly falling for it, and I guess part of the thing is she has to like say yes to it, otherwise it doesn't work. And so it gets to the end, and she finally agrees, and like there's a shot of her just completely topless, and then there's an incredibly uncomfortably long, goes on for a very long time, scene between the two of them. I don't want to get, I'm not looking to get shadow banned, where it just it doesn't feel, it feels not only because he looks gross and icky and weird, but because the consent is dubious. Like you're gonna people will be like, but Justin, she consented. And I would be like, yeah, she only consented because he said, if you don't consent, in 3 days, I'm going to kill everyone you love, up to including your husband. I'm going to bleed him. So sure, yeah, she said yes, but
Under
like
duress.
extreme
coerced.
duress. Yeah, she was coerced, and and so the final shot of the movie is them naked on top of each other. She basically, he bites her, and she keeps him like engaged long enough to where the sun fries him and kills him. And William Dafoe's like, "'Twas beauty killed the beast." No, William Dafoe's like, she had to make a sacrifice. She had to make a sacrifice to defeat Nosferatu, and then that cures all of the blood illness. But yeah, it is otherwise like, it's not to say it's not like creepy and unsettling, and like I say, Count Orlok is creepy and unsettling, but like, I don't understand, like, he's scary, like he's deeply frightening, and the movie wants you to think like he's charming. And I saw them talking about a behind the scenes thing where they're like, oh, he thinks he's charming, but like the movie treats him as though he's charming, even though you would meet him and you'd be like, no, just no, thank you, I'm out, I'm good. It's very, like, they never finds a good reason really, or it doesn't play on screen super well as to how why Nicholas Hoult is just going with this. Like, they don't make it clear like he's using other versions of Dracula. Is like, oh, he's hypnotizing them, or he's legit charming. And this, he's gross and creepy and weird, and he's got a gross, creepy mustache. And yeah, the ending of this movie is upsetting. It's weird. The consent is again weird and dubious. And it was uncomfortable. An uncomfortable movie. Yeah, it felt like sexual assault is what I'll say. That's how I'll end this. It was weird and gross. That's it. It's Nosferatu. Would not recommend.
Okay.
Not even to be like, oh, this is weird and fucked up.
This next one that we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna use the term movie with air quotes for this one, but so you know how with books there's a type of book which is called smut.
Yes, this is Skinamax.
It's
called Skinamax, Jordan.
This is smut for video. This is called Vampire Club. The plot, as it were, is
as it were.
The vampire girls, in the beginning, one of them is draining a girl or whatever, turning her, and the vampire hunters who have been hunting them for a long time, decades, come and kill her before the one girl is fully turned. And so then the other girls run and end up at this club, the strip club. I mean, they never directly call it as such, but it is essentially a strip club, which, as an aside, this movie is it gave me real Fred vibes.
Gave me real. I'm home
Low
on
budget.
a Friday night. It's 2 a.m. and I can't believe I'm getting away with watching this vibe.
I mean, yes, a little bit. It
for my parents
definitely
to bust in. I'm 18 years old. I'm like, there's porn
it
on TV?
It definitely reminded me of some of those late night shows that were on Channel 39 Showcase.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you're Canadian and you recognize, let me know if you recognize the term baby blue movies.
It definitely reminded me of those.
Late night Skinamax. Yeah,
and
the kids don't appreciate having to watch late night Skinamax films.
Yeah. So let's keeping it YouTube friendly. Let's just say
I think that is keeping it YouTube friendly. I only used the P word once.
No, I meant what I'm about to say.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying to keep to the YouTube friendliness.
Yeah, no, we've been shadow banned before. We got to keep this PG.
To
PG.
This movie, it really shows you a lot. You really see. There's a lot to see when you watch
really
this movie.
Really opened my eyes to the things you can see when you're watching a late night Skinamax film.
You really. What you can get away with is impressive.
See, we could get away with saying...
to the point where uh when I first put it on, it starts going, and I had to back out because I'm watching this on Roku. I had to back out and be
I
like,
remember you're
I'm
like,
watching an actual movie,
this.
right? This isn't something else, is it? Uh,
Look. I feel as though we can get away with saying porn because they said porn on Friends, and that was a G-rated show.
all right. I'm watching a movie, right? This isn't porn, right? Like, and I
I'm just saying this entire episode of Friends dedicated to the fact that they just have porn on in the background. Like they could say that was a PG show. They could say porn. Porn is a word you could say. Also, I feel like we could get away with it. Get away with it by saying Skinamax because nobody knows what Skinamax is. I'm not explaining to you what Skinamax is if you don't know what Skinamax is. I'm not
Google
explaining it to you.
Google it's a
Google's
thing.
free. You can Google what
You
Skinamax. But
use
also, if
it.
you're gonna Google what Skinamax is, make sure you're alone,
So
with like a partner that you love, because it could be a group activity. It could be 2-person activity.
so yeah, this movie
Really painting an image of it, but that's
is
what it looked like. Like I watched exactly 5 to 10 minutes of it with him, and that's what it looks like.
right down to the visual, like the visual style. But so there's
I
so
usually
many
skip
reasons
this
why
part.
this
Is what it felt like.
yeah. There's so many reasons why this movie even just like if I'm gonna be an ass and look at this as if it was a legitimate movie and not made for one reason and one reason only.
For people to
Um,
whack it.
one reason and one reason only. But there's technical issues in this movie. There's a scene where they're in like an underground parking lot, and when you look at the one character, it's silent, and when you look at the other character, it's making like car noises and background noises and stuff. And it's just there's inconsistencies.
Indicating
There's
that they probably didn't have a good filter on their mic, probably picking up
well,
every single sound.
that's where I say it really did. You
Was this
know,
made on $100?
some of the more um, intimate scenes aside, uh, the general budget that I got from this was you and Fred and your crew making your movie that you
No,
did.
no, 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 no. Do not equate me with that smut. No, no, no. Our shit is slightly higher quality than that.
I'm simply saying in terms of budget.
We didn't make smut.
That's
We made legit
that's
art.
no. I'm talking purely in terms of budget. Like that's what it made me think of. Like it felt
Oh,
like it had no budget and it was like a guy with his camera, not in terms of quality, but you know what I mean. Like it's just
he was just a guy with a camera and women who didn't know that they were being recorded. It's a real quagmire.
no, they knew they were being recorded. It was consensual. Um, but yeah, no, if there's one lesson to I guess to wrap this up,
I love how we
if
haven't
there's
talked about the movie at all.
we're not going to because
Just a bunch of dirty jokes about.
there's really not much about it. I will say one of the ways that you can tell that it's a low budget is
Why
and
are
I'm being
vampires always
is
horny?
and I'm being a little mean about this, considering this is a low budget thing that I guarantee you nobody has ever heard of. But there's parts in it where they're supposed to be in like a club, which I interpret it as a strip club, considering it has scantily clad women come out and dance. Uh, anyways, uh, it looks like it's like it's supposed to be a club, but it looks like it's just in someone's basement. Like it's so funny, um, like how low budget it feels. But yeah, not much more to say about it. It's yes, Skinamax
Cinemax.
is really is
Uh,
really that should say it all. But yeah, there's one lesson I learned about this week. It's that yeah, vampires are horny.
Vampires are horny. So if I had a nickel for every time Nicholas Hoult showed up in a movie about Dracula that came out within the same year, I'd have 2 nickels. But it's weird it happened twice. So this is Renfield. It stars Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, and it was one of the 3 times I went back and I rewatched the beginning of Nosferatu because I went, wait, because this movie opens with him talking about his backstory, and he's like, oh, I was the solicitor and I went to sell him a house and I became his indentured servant forever, and I was like, isn't that the same character that he played in Nosferatu? And so I watched the beginning of Nosferatu again. I'm like, well, kind of. No, in Nosferatu, he's actually playing a different character. Who we're going to talk about the character he's playing in Dracula later. But Renfield is basically in Nosferatu. He's his boss who sends him to sell the house to Count Orlok, who goes crazy. That's who Renfield is. But this movie basically is like, after Dracula, it starts off with Renfield in basically a support group for overly dependent, codependent relationships, which he has gone to following. Basically, he is taken to in order to find Dracula victims. He goes and he goes to these support groups, and he basically feeds Dracula domestic abuse. Like domestic abusers and drug dealers and guys who suck, basically. And Dracula he's like, he's played by Nicolas Cage. Dracula played by Nicolas Cage. He's like, no, these guys aren't doing it for me. I need, oh, I know you don't like to hear this, but I need virgins. I need young virgins. Girl virgins. Like, if you brought me a bus full of young cheerleaders, that would have been much better. And he's like, oh, before you say anything, don't be gross. It's not a sex thing. It's more about their purity and their vitality than it is a sex thing. And so Renfield, a thing with Renfield is in Dracula, he eats bugs and rats and shit that he absorbs their life force. So how that translates in this movie is he eats bugs and he gains the powers of Dracula, which is basically like super speed, super strength, all others. And so there's a bit where he saves a girl, like some girl, from a bunch of drug dealers, or no, he kills her drug dealer boyfriend or whatever. And it turns out that they had stolen a bunch of drugs from this gang that's in the city, played by the leader, which is played by Ben Schwartz, the guy who's Sonic the Hedgehog. And he is weirdly miscast because Ben Schwartz is like the least intimidating guy ever. So there's scenes where like he's silly and he's doing jokes, but then there's other scenes where he's supposed to be intimidating, and it doesn't work because he's Ben Schwartz, the least intimidating guy on planet Earth.
Like, he's a Labrador.
Yeah, he's a Labrador. It's so weird. And eventually in the movie,
I can't. That'd be like if you're trying to paint Mr. Peanut Butter as being scary. Like,
exactly. He's not scary. He's not scary or intimidating. He's so weirdly miscast in this movie.
Really, that's the best way I can put it.
And a cast that's otherwise great. Like Nicolas Cage's Dracula is really funny. He's got some great one-liners. Nicholas Hoult is super funny. Again, he's got some great one-liners. It's a very funny movie, and it is once again super violent. So it's that kind of, but it's like that cartoonish kind of violence where it's like, yeah, guys are getting ripped in half and like sliced in half, but it's cartoonish, over the top, bloody and gory. Like super fun, super clever. And because I've been watching Dracula shit, there's a lot of really funny references. A lot of really funny jokes that are related to Dracula that I'm like, hey, I get that now, that I wouldn't have appreciated had I not watched Dracula.
Interesting.
I totally recommend. It's on Amazon Prime. It's really good. It's quite good. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Nope, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That is Renfield. It's really quite good. Quite good. I quite enjoyed it.
Very interesting.
Oh no, I remember the one. So it at the end, Dracula decides that he's tired of like cowering. He's like, oh, I have all the power, so I should rule the world. And yet he teams up with Ben Schwartz, and then it turns into a Ben Schwartz versus Renfield. And yeah, it's Ben Schwartz wrong for the role. Very strange. Anyway, yeah, so that was Renfield.
Okay.
Next.
So, my last rapid fire, if you will,
If I will.
is Dark Shadows. You know, it's another Tim Burton one. It's got Johnny Depp. You got Michelle Pfeiffer, Eva Green, Jackie Earle Haley, John Lee Miller, Chloe Grace Moretz, Helena Bonham Carter, and Bella Heathcote.
Yeah, I remember thinking this movie was bad. I remember saying I don't remember why. I do have a vague recollection of being like, the pacing is horrendous.
Well, so it's based off of a soap opera, and so the way that Tim Burton tries to direct it is to keep it in the spirit of that soap opera. So I could see how maybe especially younger Justin, it probably felt like it clashed.
Maybe. Let's see. You talk about this movie. Let's see.
So Johnny Depp is a vampire. He was locked away for like hundreds of thousands of years. Then, bada bing, bada boom, construction guys find his coffin while they're excavating. And, they see a chained coffin, and their first thought is, oh, I should open this up. It's not buried and chained for a reason. Might not be cursed. They open it, and bada bing, bada boom, a very hungry Barnabas pops out and kills them all. I'm sorry, drinks their blood, but really kills them all. And he's like, I'm sorry, but you wouldn't believe how thirsty I am. And so then meanwhile, there's the what's her name, who's a witch, who is the one that turned him into a vampire and then locked him away and then lived for hundreds of years and essentially took over the town that was named after his family. And then he shows up, and it's bada bing, bada boom, and there's a nanny who he's falling in love with, and then also each of the family members has something about them that makes them spooky and ooky. It's kind of like the Addams Family, if you will.
Yes.
I
think they're inspired or based on the Addams Family. I know there's a connection to the Addams Family. I just don't remember what it is.
The Chloe Grace Moretz character is a werewolf. The kid sees dead people. He sees his dead mom, who's a ghost. Obviously, Johnny Depp is a vampire. Helena Bonham Carter is a therapist that they've been paying for 3 years, even though she's terrible at her job. And why do they continue to keep her around? I never really understood that. But she then, under the pretense of trying to turn the vampire back into a human, is taking his blood and is using it to turn herself into a vampire. There's just a lot of things where it's like, oh, I see how this was probably like an episode or two of the show. Oh, I see how this is maybe an arc of television. Like, you can see the influence.
I understand.
And that is Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows. Yeah, the one thing I know about that movie is it's one of the ones that people are like, oh, Johnny Depp, no. It's that, and Mordecai is the one where it was pretty much like that was when his career started to fall off a cliff.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
I hear it's also bad. But yeah, this was the one where people were like, wait, was Tim Burton ever a good director? Because he made a run. It was this one, and then there's one other one he made, which was like super poorly received enough that people started being like, oh no.
So, it's interesting. I was just looking at that. So Barnabas Collins had his own hyperlink on the Wikipedia page. So I click on it. He was apparently a featured role in ABC daytime serial Dark Shadows, which was on TV from 1966 to 1971.
Oh wow.
So he wasn't even originally from this other show. He was originally from this, which they then took this and made it into the TV show that then
Oh,
became this movie.
wait. Sorry. Say. What? So the Dark Shadows was a television show that's what this movie's based off of.
No, I know, but I'm saying even before this, like the TV show that this was based off of, there was Barnabas Collins.
Oh, so
The character came from something else first,
Oh.
which they then obviously saw that name and in an homage made the Dark Shadows TV show.
I understand.
Because yeah, he originally
I understand.
or oh no, wait, no, sorry, maybe I'm confused. Dark Shadows is the show.
Yes.
Okay, so the show is from the 60s. Got
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Sorry. Never mind. I'm reading an article about the original character.
Yeah, it's a long running soap opera.
I knew that. I just for whatever reason I was confused. I'm sorry. I was dumb. That was a dumb.
All right.
I did a dumb.
All right, Jordan. Let me begin my next one by
I thought
asking
it
you
was
this
something
question.
else.
Jordan, do you remember
Cut that.
Jordan?
We'll just cut that. We'll just cut that entire part from the actual podcast.
I cut nothing. Jordan, you remember a far away, long ago time? Remember the 1980s, Jordan? Remember a time
No, it was before my time.
when a child could just smoke?
I'm not that old.
Do you remember a time when a child could just smoke a cigarette and just get into trouble, get into mischief? Hang out with his friends.
Yes.
Let me take you to 1987, Jordan, at a movie called Monster Squad, which is
Dun dun dun.
which, Jordan, it's pretty much just the Goonies. It's the Goonies.
Oh.
It's the
with
Goonies, except
monsters.
for instead of looking for treasure, they fight Dracula, and they fight Dracula. And
Sorry, let me get my 80s vibe here. Sounds like a rip roaring good time.
they fight Dracula. So Dracula wants something which like a gem or some form of a MacGuffin, and he wants to bring together all of the various monsters. So you've got Dracula, you've got Frankenstein, you've got there's a guy who keeps running around town telling people he's a werewolf, but nobody believes him, and he's the Wolfman.
Bob the Blob.
They have the creature from the Black Lagoon, but they don't call him the creature from the Black Lagoon. And then there's the mummy, and they want this particular MacGuffin, and in order to, and this is where it gets weird, in order to stop Dracula, they need to have a virgin read a passage from the book. I don't know what it is with virgins in this, but they need a virgin, so they find a girl who says she's a virgin, and the Dracula sends Frankenstein's monster after the kids, but then it turns out, Jordan, that the Frankenstein's monster, he's actually good, and for reasons that are never fully explained, he develops a friendship with the guy's little sister, and I do appreciate this. They call him Frankenstein, and then the guy goes, "Well, actually, technically speaking, he's Frankenstein's monster." And all the kids, they have a club called the Monster Club, where they all hang around and they talk about monsters. They're really into the universal monsters, and there's a really weird bit at the end where they go to this creepy German guy who tells them basically the backstory, what they need to do, all that. And there's a really cool line he has where they go to leave, and they're like, "Geez, mister, it's so cool that you know about," or something to the fact of, "Why do you know so much about monsters?" And he's like, or no, it's like, you know a lot. You sure know a lot. And he goes, I know a thing or two about monsters. And he opens the door, and his shirt lifts up, and he's got he's a Holocaust survivor. He's got the tattoo on his wrist.
Oh,
and
snap.
I was like, oh, that's pretty. That's cool. I was like, oh, I know a thing or two about monsters, because he's from the Holocaust. whatnot.
Clever.
And there's a really weird bit at the end where Dracula is trying to get the little girl to get him I think it's a stone or what the thing is, doesn't really matter. But he like lifts her up and he's like, "Give it to me, you bitch!" And she's like 5. It's really weird. It's really weird. And like the girl who they think is the virgin reads the spell or whatever to banish them into a portal and send them to another dimension or whatever. And she reads the spell and it's not working. And I think she's like 14 or 15, like too young. And she's like, "It's not working. Why? I thought you said you were a virgin." And she just goes, like, "It was with such and such, but it doesn't count." And like, "Oh, it doesn't count." And she's like, "We need a virgin." But they never say, like, it doesn't specify it needs to be a girl. So it's like, "Hey, how about any one of you boys?" And he looks at the little sister again, who's 5. He's like, "You'll do." And I'm like, what's going to happen when this spell doesn't work? I'm like, why couldn't it have been any of the boys? The boys could have done it. Why did it have to be the little girl? That was weird. It's weird. I don't like how weird this is. The implication is weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. That was not an okay joke I just did. I take that back. I don't like that. I immediately apologize. That felt weird.
It was weird. That's why I didn't think. I
It was weird. But that's what this movie did to me. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I took it too far. Even I'm like, I went too far this time.
You've gone too far this time. You have to be stopped.
I know it was too far. I immediately apologize. Don't cancel.
You're out of control.
Immediately apologize.
Hashtag cancel one, but not the other.
Don't cancel both of us. Just cancel Jordan on my behalf.
Just cancel Justin. I tactfully talked about a movie that had a lot of stuff that can't be talked about. He didn't. Just remember that.
I didn't. But no, it's a very, very 1980s. Like I say, it's just the Goonies. One of the kids is literally just the character. Like, they call him Fat Boy or Fat Kid. And he's literally...
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, he's literally just the kid from the Goonies. Like, literally. I even looked it up because I was like, is it the same actor? Like, no, it wasn't the same actor. But it's the same character. They just call him Fat Kid. Oh, yeah, remember when we could get away with that? I do. I don't like it. But yeah, that's the Monster Squad. It's a fun movie. Fun 19... If you could just remember that it's from 1987, you'll have a good time.
Okay. So, unless you have anything else to say,
No.
then it is time for us to move on to the half scenes.
Duel?
And the first have seen that I have seen is Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, which is a good movie. I really like this one. This is one of the last ones of the, things monsters can be real series.
Yeah, I guess they really. I always said it was a trilogy, but that's because technically speaking, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is part of this series, but it doesn't have a real ghost in it.
Yeah, there's also the Alien one.
Oh, right. Then the Alien one comes. Sorry. The trilogy is the Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island, and the Alien one. The Cyber Chase is part of this continuity of movies, but yeah, it doesn't have a real ghost. That technically does have a real alien.
So this one's good.
It's so good.
It's definitely one of my all-time favorite Scooby-Doo things.
You're hard pressed for me not to be like, when you're like, oh, the which one is better? I'm like, oh man, it really is good. Like, the animation is standout. The voice acting is phenomenal.
Tight. You've got Tim Curry.
You've got
Tim Curry. You've got Frank Welker.
But he's so good. Good.
And you've got so this was apparently the first time when you had as Shaggy Scott Innes.
Oh yeah.
As Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
Really, the first. He didn't do. No, it wasn't. It was Billy West in Zombie Island. Yeah.
This was his first, apparently his first time, and also as Daphne. And so it's funny because it's funny how over the years certain people have become like that's my Shaggy, or that's
Yeah.
my Velma, or that's my and so Shaggy sounded weird for me because I've gotten so used to what's his name? Uh the current one.
Oh, Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, I've gotten so used to him
I
that
mean,
it's
I'm a,
strange to hear another one.
I
Um
Shaggy's flexible for me. It depends on the one, but I do get
he
what you're
is
saying.
he is for me. I'm just saying it tweaked my brain where I was like, "Oh, he's not quite." But and same with Daphne.
Oh yeah,
It not being Delisle.
Grey Delisle. Is it not Grey Delisle in
Yeah.
that? Huh.
No, it's hold on, I have it here. Why am I not saying it? There it is. Mary Kay Bergman, who, fun fact,
South Park.
yes, there's that, but funner fact, she was also Snow White.
The original Snow White?
It says here, she was the official voice of the Disney character Snow White from 1989 to 1999.
Oh well. Yeah, she was sad. She I think died in a car crash. But yeah, she was the original voice of I believe Kyle's mom.
Oh, interesting. Um,
She was a South Park. Very big
and
South
then
Park.
yeah, you as Sarah Ravencroft, you have Tress MacNeille. She's a classic.
She died before this right around the time the South Park movie came out, which is why Robin Williams sings "Blame Canada" at the Oscars. Because they refused to
Oh,
participate in it as a way to honor her death.
interesting. Um, but I mean, yeah, this one has the Hex Girls, who, as an aside, I growing up, I'm not gonna name names, but I had a crush on a goth girl, and things like this, Sam from Danny Phantom, goth girls in media in general, definitely was part of why I had a crush on goth girls growing up.
Girls. Yes, the soundtrack in this also kicks ass. It's also good.
Yes, it does. Also, I find it funny how the Hex Girls in the credits are credited as the Hex Girls.
That's funny.
Um, like they have their own credit.
They've come
It's
back a few
very
times. They've become recurring characters. They came back in What's New Scooby Doo. There's an episode where they sing the theme song, and then they brought them back for uh, Mystery Incorporated. There's an episode with them in it where they sing an updated version of the Hex Girls song, and then
Oh,
there's a
that's awesome.
song that Daphne sings where she dresses up like them, and it's really
Oh
good.
yeah, right. I forgot about that one.
Yes, it's
But
really
that's one thing
really good.
that's one thing that's funny is at the end when they when they sing Earth, Wind, Fire, and Air or whatever that one, and the Scooby Doo crew are playing instruments along with them. I'm like, okay, either I'm supposed to believe that each of these Mystery Inc. kids are somehow just instantly really good with
All
these
savants, Jordan.
instruments.
All
Like
savants.
like my man Shaggy is a bass instrument, a guitar or whatever guitar he had, savant, or and this is my headcanon because I think it's funnier. The Hex Girls gave them unplugged, like
Oh yeah, no,
things
it's
that
just a
were
show. Yeah, none
unplugged,
of those instruments are
so
plugged
that
in.
it didn't actually make any noise.
No. They just gave Scooby a guitar and was like, go ham, kid."
No, he had the cymbals.
Oh, oh.
But like you had Velma who was on the keyboards, and I'm like, she's not playing anything.
No,
It's
that's
just not
not.
just
It's not. It's not.
that's just because I'm sorry, you're a professional band who has gigs and stuff. You're not just letting some random teenagers come up on stage with instruments and wreck your harmonization and all your
You think the
practicing. That's
Scooby Doo
just
gang is gonna show up to hours and hours of rehearsals? No.
no, of course not. No,
Don't be ignorant.
not when the show was like the next day.
Exactly.
Like that's just not gonna happen. You're gonna give them fake instruments.
Exactly.
It just makes the most sense. But yeah, no, I like this movie.
It's a fun.
It
Movie.
holds a special place in the cockles of my heart.
In the
Maybe
deepest.
below the cockles.
And it's maybe in the subcockle
maybe
region.
even maybe even the heart.
Maybe
we don't
below
know.
the liver. Maybe between the kidneys.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But that's Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
All right. It's funny. We both decided to go with fun G-rated endeavors for
I
for
needed
some
something to break up everything
for
else.
some monster mashy fun, because my first thing is the second in a series of movie specials that the Chipmunks made called Alvin and the Chipmunks Meets the Wolfman. And
I
fun
like that
fact,
one.
there was actually basically these movies have kind of an interesting history, but there was supposed to be a third one. It was basically based on a deal that they made with Universal to use these monsters in stuff in a movie,
Interesting.
which is why they exist. But yeah, this is
I'm guessing the third one would have been the Mummy
I'm guessing, yeah. But basically, and what's funny
or
about this is like
or Dracula.
it's the Wolfman, but in the movie they're doing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh yeah, I guess this is the point where I can say I watched a video on this. Most people drastically misunderstand Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. A fun fact. Most people understand, and to be fair, prior to watching this video, I did too. But most people, think that with we're gonna do it this way, and then we'll get into the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. But Jordan, what do you think happens in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Um, okay, so you have the good doctor, and he wants to expel his evil half, so he can be an even better man. And he comes up with this concoction which will expel his evil half, and he drinks it. But oh, bada bing, bada boom! It doesn't actually expel his evil half. It like makes him into like a split personality, and that's not what he wanted. But his other half is all the badness and stuff, and yeah, that's Dr.
Yeah,
Jekyll,
that's
Mr.
wrong.
Mr. Hyde.
That's wrong. That's actually not what Dr. Jekyll is. That's not what the original book is. Like, yes, that's what the story has malformed and turned into in a lot of modern interpretations, but that's not actually what Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is about. In fact, in the original text, Jekyll is the bad one. Like, there is no Mr. Hyde. All the potion does is change his physical appearance and allow him the freedom to do what he wanted to do anyway. And Dr. Jekyll
So
is
it
just
dulls
him repressing
his inhibitions.
So the potion doesn't do anything in terms of changing his personality or what he is. It just allows him to physically transform into another person and do what he's always wanted to do anyway, which is be a serial killer. And so this movie tries to be like, Dr. Jekyll is about combating your evil nature, and it's like, no, or combating the evil side of yourself. It's like, no, that's not what Dr. Jekyll is about. But so the plot of Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman is
To rein it back in.
well, they're doing a version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in their elementary school, and there's a teacher who is overly invested in an elementary school production of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's freaking out the whole time because like they're all messing it up. It's gonna be terrible. It's like, dude, calm down.
They're like 6. Calm down.
They're like 6. Calm down. And so the Alvin is obsessed with monsters. He's obsessed with like the spook obsessed with monsters. So he's got all this monster memorabilia. And he's got himself all worked up, and he's scared of the neighbor, Lawrence Talbot. And what's really funny is because I watched the Wolfman movie, I never got this joke as a kid, but in case the movie doesn't make it obvious enough that he's a werewolf by the fact that he carries around a walking stick that has a wolf head on it, his name is Lawrence Talbot, which is the name of the Wolfman from the original Wolfman movie.
Yeah, I feel like that's an example of the wolf head is there so that like kids like we were get that he's the werewolf. The name drop is for the adults who have to be in the room listening to this
Yeah,
thing
they're
playing.
like, that's clever.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of those.
Yeah. Again, it's not, I don't know if it's, I can't decide which one I think is better, the Frankenstein one or this one. I think the resolution of this one is messy. So yeah, the werewolf bites Theodore, and the whole movie is Theodore just starts acting like a dick, like he starts acting like an aggressive asshole,
He
and
turns into a real Chad.
Yeah, he treating everyone like shit. At one point, Eleanor's like, "Yeah, you're acting more like Alvin." And at night, he turns into a were-chipmunk. And in the rare time they ever address the fact that they're chipmunks, because otherwise that version of Alvin the Chipmunks never really addresses the fact that they're not really chipmunks. They're sort of a weird mutant chipmunk. Like, you know, they're kind of kid height because they're the rough height of all of the other kids. So they're not, unlike in the live action movies, not an actual chipmunk. But so they go to what is like basically like this movie's version of Cleo the psychic, who is like, yeah, because your brother's not a full, because your brother's a hedgehog, he's closer to
A chipmunk, not a hedgehog.
to nature, not a human. So that's why he turns into a werewolf every single night. And yeah, I'm like, that's sort of odd. And so the ticking clock is they need to get the guy's staff because it's made out of pure silver. And if they bonk Theodore in the head before the full moon, it'll cure him. And it gets to the end of the movie, and he turns into the werewolf during the performance of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because he's only
isn't
playing...
it like otherwise it becomes permanent or something like
otherwise
that?
it becomes permanent, yeah. And he gets to the final performance of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and there's a bunch of funny good jokes involving them making the show go on without Theodore. And Talbot, or Dave, on his way to going to the play, goes to talk to the neighbor because Alvin stole his walking stick and has broken it. And he's like, even though he knows he's about to turn to a vampire, he's like, come inside. I'll show
werewolf.
you, or whatever, werewolf. He's like, I'll show you what I mean. And he turns into a werewolf, and he chases Dave to the school, and nobody goes, Alvin, you were right. Werewolves are real. It's all real. Nobody apologized to Alvin for that, but that's neither here nor there. And Theodore, they get to a big fight where Theodore and the guy are fighting, and Theodore bites him, and it cures both of them. And there's literally a line where Simon goes, well, because Mr. Talbot turned Theodore into a werewolf, Theodore bit him, and it undid the whole thing. And I think Dave goes, well, that sure is convenient. It's like, yeah. Yeah,
Yep,
it is.
Definitely convenient.
It just kind of comes across like you wrote yourself into a corner and you couldn't figure out how to end this movie. And you're like, and then Theodore bites him and everything's fine.
And everything goes back to normal.
It's funny because I never noticed this. Did you notice that there's only 3 songs in that movie?
Should there be more?
Well, no, it's just like, I remember there being more songs in that movie, but there's only 3. Like, if it's comparable to like a Disney movie or like a Disney musical, there's only 3 songs. Like, I would be like, oh, there should be at least 1 or 2 more. But there's huge chunks of this movie without any music.
Oh, I never really thought about it before.
I know. There's 3. There's Monks on a Mission. There's the Monsters Out in You, and there's the one that they sing at the end. And then the one that they sing at the end is really funny because there's a really, really funny edit in the ending credits version where they just replay the second and third verse over again, and it's the exact same. It's not any different. It's exactly like you could just tell that they've just reinserted the same audio track, and it's the same 2 verses and chorus again to extend the song to be longer. It's really funny, but the music's solid. The music is good. It's really catchy. I don't know if it's better than the Frankenstein music. Like, I don't know. Monks on a Mission and the Monsters Out in You are quite good. Like,
I just always kind of considered them to be of the same package.
Well, they were sold together, so they were technically of the same package. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, I remember liking the Frankenstein one more, but I remember not liking the like climax of that movie because it was just weird cartoon Alvin. I was like, I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it ends with Talbot becoming the principal. He becomes the principal, and Dave goes to tackle him, and they're like, no! It's really funny. And then the Chipettes who literally have nothing to do for most of the movie. There's a really funny joke where Brittany discovers that she's gonna be a tree, and she's like, no, I read it. I thought it said that I was gonna be playing a girl named Willow who cries a lot. It's like, I get it, a weeping willow. You're gonna be playing a weeping willow. That's funny. That's really funny. There's a funny bit where they keep like improving the play, and she walks, and she's like, and I can talk now. It's really funny.
I'm a talking tree.
I'm a talking tree. And then where Simon's just explaining the formula. Also, there's certain points where I realized Alvin and Simon's voice are kind of exactly the same.
I mean,
there's a point I noticed that there's one of their albums, which was like not recent, but like it came out like 2007. It was after the first movie came out, and they thought that they could make.
They were both voiced by the same guy, so.
Yeah, but after the first movie came out, there was a period history of the Chipmunks, but there's a period in like the 80s, which is this came out in like 2001, 2002, something like that, in the early 2000s. And this was like the thing about the Chipmunks is they're constantly trying to make a comeback. Like for the past like 10 years to 15, 20 years, whatever, they're constantly trying to make a new thing that makes them stick, and then they kind of do, but not in the same way that they did in the 80s. So like this came out in like the 2000s, and this was them trying to create a resurgence. Like this felt like this, and the Frankenstein movie felt like they were trying to like set up for a new show with a new status quo. But and then obviously there's live action movies, and then there's the new show where they're like half chipmunk, half human, and they look weird, but it's voiced by the original voice actor again. There's a point in the 80s and 90s where they just put out a bunch of albums. That's where if you've heard the version, they did a cover of "The Devil Went Down to Georgia."
Did they?
We had it on a CD at one point. But it's them. He's playing against them with a golden.
Oh yeah.
You play good mouth harp. He gets your soul.
Yeah.
That is from they also did a cover of "Achy Breaky Heart." Like they did like an R&B.
They did.
Album.
I know they did a Disney one as well.
Yeah. They did a bunch of albums.
Yeah.
And they were really popular in terms of music outside of their show or whatever. And so there was a point after the movie came out where they thought they could do that again, and they released a follow-up album to the first movie's album with a bunch of covers. So it's got like Daughtry Home. They did an updated version of the theme song that's quite good. But there's a song on it called Ho Ho Ho, where they brought back, because for those movies they had a particular company do the music, but for that one they brought back
Dave Seville.
Dave, the guy who he plays Alvin and Simon in a song on that album. And there's a point where you can't tell if it's Simon or Alvin because they sound the same. It's really funny. I could point it out to you in the song. It's really, we're like, they sound.
I think you have.
Yeah, I think I have pointed out. We're like, they sound the same. There's another point in that song where they for whatever reason don't put the chipmunk effect on Theodore's voice, so you can hear the woman voicing her in the song. It's really
that's funny.
But yeah, solid. Like I say, I grew up with the Chipmunks. I'm always gonna have a fondness for them. They do have a sense of humor that does make me laugh, and I enjoyed this. This was fun. Alvin and Chipmunks meet the Wolfman. Next.
So, my second half scene, I have to admit, I will confess, I thought I had seen it. I truly did. I've seen the first one like a couple times. So I could have sworn I had watched the second one. I'm talking about The Mummy Returns.
Yes, The Mummy Returns.
Having watched it this time, I'm now not sure that I had seen it before, because there's a lot that I just
like that
didn't.
are tough because there's a chance you've probably seen bits and pieces of it on the internet where you're like, it's hard to. No. Here's the thing. No, are you sure? Because we own it on DVD, and I remember putting it in and watching the first one. Did we not watch the second one?
That's where I say I know I've seen the first one. I've seen the first one at least a couple times,
And the third one.
enough that I've seen, and I know that we went to the theater and we watched the third
Yeah.
one. But as I was watching this one, I'm like, there's stuff in it that I'm like, I don't remember
That
this.
one's tough because the first one I watched that in grade 8 humanities class, and I loved it so much I went out and I rented this, and I know I watched it on my own.
So, like for
I've seen
example,
this movie a bunch. I love this movie.
for example, it gets to the point where it shows The Rock, and I'm like, I know that The Rock is in this, but I don't recognize these scenes.
No, fair enough. You don't
Like I
remember
know,
bad CGI
I
Scorpion, The Rock?
no, but I know that it's like I knew that it was a thing,
Yeah, it's hard. It's
but I
hard.
don't,
It's such a
but I don't
culturally
remember it.
present movie.
Anyways, so yeah, I watched The Mummy Returns, and this movie's solid. It's every bit as good as the first one, um, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The kid, never a fan, never a lover of a kid.
That's
Like,
fair. And I was gonna say he's my one thing that I didn't love about this movie. He's kind of annoying and a bit of a know-it-all.
yeah,
But it's also just a logical thing that makes sense to have in this. But also they are negligent parents if they're bringing their child to these dig sites.
it's
Um,
true.
but especially in the 1930s or whatever when this is
There's also
supposed
a
to
lot
take place,
of
when you could just dump your kid off at a boarding school and be done with it.
there's also like
Um,
a lot of weird additions to the mythos that were I don't like the fact that the wife is like a descent or reincarnation of the.
yeah, that
Seems
was
kind of weird
weird.
that you wouldn't have brought that up the last time you dealt with the mummy. Seems weird that that's just
I
coming up
mean,
now.
I mean, if you, yeah, she would have been alive. Like, but the cult wasn't really a thing in the first one.
No, but you think
Um,
Emotep would have been like, hey, you sure look familiar.
well, he didn't know her
Isn't she
in
like
the
the?
first one.
No, but he isn't the reincarnated.
She's the reincarnated of his wife, but she wasn't in the first one.
No. But the Evie, the Brandon Fraser's wife,
Evie is the reincarnation
the
of
Pharaoh's daughter.
the daughter, the
That's
Pharaoh's
what I'm
daughter.
saying. You would think Imhotep in the last one would be like, hey, you sure look like the daughter of the guy I killed. What a weird coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't need to. He didn't really care. He just wanted to bring his bow back. Um, but anyways, this one, um, I will say, and I'm gonna show my ignorance here of why I was like I became convinced I hadn't seen it was because I was surprised when Emotep showed up.
I mean, it's the second movie. What, do you think he was going to show up?
Yeah, for some reason my brain didn't key into, yeah, Doy, the mummy returns. He comes back,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah, it's called The Mummy
Returns.
Returns.
But when they're talking about this Scorpion King, I was like, I thought he was the mummy who was returning. Like they introduced at the beginning of this movie, they introduced the Scorpion King, who is a completely different mummy. So I thought the idea was he was going to be the mummy who returns, right? So then when Imhotep showed up, I was like,
All
oh,
right.
okay,
All right.
that also makes sense.
All
Like
right.
that also works. But that's where my brain was when I first started this movie.
All
And I
right.
saw the Rock's character.
All right.
I was just like, it's weird to me that you have the Rock's character who is in the beginning of this movie, and they set him up as
You're
this
just
big
like
bad
somehow
guy
the mummy has returned.
who, yeah, it's just it was a choice. I honestly,
It was a choice.
I see a version of this movie where you don't bring Imhotep back, and yeah, it is the Rock's character is the
But
bad
I like
guy.
Imhotep. I really
I'm
like
just
Arnold
saying.
Vitzler. I want them to make the Mummy 4, and I want them to bring them all back. I want Brendan Fraser to come back. I want Rachel Weisz to come back. I want Arnold Vitzler to come back.
I'm just saying,
Assuming
I
everyone's
could
alive.
I could see a version of this movie where that's the case. Um,
Yeah,
But overall, I'm
yeah.
happy with what we got. I enjoyed it. I had fun with
It's really
this.
fun. It's way sillier, I think, than the. But like to me, yeah, to me that's when the Mummy is the most fun, is when it's like sort of more akin to like a old adventure serial and is like isn't. It's just
Yeah,
silly and
and
easygoing
this
and high
the
energy
Mummy
and
movies, the Mummy movies really feel to me, um, they feel like if what if Indiana Jones was fun
yeah.
and not
What?
just a crotchety old bastard. Because let's be clear, right from the first one, he's a crotchety old bastard.
Little bit,
Um,
little bit.
but this okay, so this sequel movie had a budget of 98 million. Do you want to guess what the box office was?
200 million.
Ooh, nope, you're wrong. It was 435 million,
200 bajillion dollars. Yeah, it was very successful. That's why they made a third one.
which is why they have ended up making a third one, which, spoiler
And
alert, one day I will do for this show.
and it launched The Rock into a quasi-successful movie career.
But that is The Mummy Returns. I don't think there's anything else to say. Hold on, let me just. Casting was good, filming, visual effects, video games. Oh, let's see if there's any video games.
Oh, there's definitely video games.
There has been two. The first was on Game Boy Color, and the other was for PlayStation 2.
All right. All right.
And there was apparently a spin-off slash prequel film centering on Dwayne Johnson's
Yes,
character,
there
the
is.
Scorpion King.
And apparently, it has very little to do with the Mummy. You think that it's going to be a prequel to this? It's not. But apparently, they had plans to make a bunch of them that just never came to fruition. But it's apparently The Rock's worst film because it's like the first one, and he's like really stiff because he still doesn't know how to be an actor yet. Those are my
But that
favorite.
is the Mummy Returns.
That is The
Just
Mummy Returns.
I have nothing else to say about that.
All right. So, honestly, the fact that you picked the Mummy was interesting. That was an interesting arrangement because my next movie is called The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise. Thomas Cruise, The Mummy, starring Thomas Cruise, and
Mr. Thomas Cruise to
Mr.
you,
Thomas
Justin.
Cruise. What's funny is like okay, so I've seen this movie. However, the first time I watched it at the drive-in movie theater, and I remember staying out till like 11:30 to watch it, and all I remember is being pissed and not remembering a fucking thing about it.
By yourself?
Me and you.
I don't remember watching that
I
at the
remember
drive-in.
driving home being mad because it was late and we stayed late to watch this piece of crap movie.
I
And
remember watching a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible at
yeah, we
the
also watched at
drive-in.
the. In fact, that
But
probably it might have been the same. It might have been the same night. But yes,
oh, that would make sense.
it was the second movie in a double feature, and we were sober coming home, and I just remember we were falling asleep, but we were insistent we were going to stay for the whole thing. And for the longest time, I couldn't remember anything about it. But okay, the most interesting about this movie is the surrounding stuff around it. So this movie was supposed to launch what everyone lovingly calls the Dark Universe. Jordan, do you remember the Dark Universe?
I just remember that it was gonna be like an entire land in Universal Studios.
Different Dark Universe. This Dark Universe was basically. Hold on, I'm gonna find a list of the cast. It was gonna be.
Like it was gonna have the Invisible Man. It was gonna have this. It was gonna
They've
be.
done that in Universal now, where they've got all those characters. But no, this was basically gonna be. Hold on. Dark Universe. This is basically gonna be like the MCU, but for the Universal monster movie characters. So you had Tom Cruise as the Mummy, and then you had come on, why can't I find a good list? Hold on.
I am Bob. Bob.
Hold on.
Hi, Bob.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So you they and what's funny is they released a cast photo, what you're probably gonna see because it's probably gonna be a YouTube video. A cast photo of all these people, right? So this is what it was supposed to be. You had Benicio del Toro, who was gonna be the Wolfman. Oh, no, he was in the Wolf. No, that's not it. Hold on. I can't find a. Here we go. That terrible cast.
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
No.
Whatever it was, it is. Because of all of the wonderful things he does.
Yeah, you had the cast photo was. It was gonna be Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, Tom Cruise as the Mummy, Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll, Javier Bardem was gonna be Frankenstein's monster, and then you had the main girl who was the Mummy, and it was gonna be basically the MCU but for Universal Marvel monster movies, and initially the launching point of it was gonna be, remember Untold?
Yes.
That was originally
Orlando Bloom.
Luke Evans.
Yeah.
That was gonna be the launching point for it, but it failed. So then it became this, and that's funny. They're like, okay, yeah, you want to do, and I don't inherently think the idea of doing an interconnected universe based on these characters is a bad one, but this doesn't make any sense because it's not even Emotep. Like the Universal Mummy is Emotep. Like your Mummy movies are an adaptation of the Universal Mummy movie from the 1940s or whatever. You know how like there's a Frankenstein one, a Dracula one? Yes, that is an adaptation of that movie. This isn't. This felt like it was an entirely separate Mummy movie that they attached all of the interconnected shit to it. So midway through it, I'm not doing a plot recap of this. Jordan, do you remember this? Do I need to do a plot recap of this? You've seen this.
I mean, it's a Mummy movie.
Did you watch this for the show?
Yeah, I think I did.
But okay, the short version is Tom Cruise is a grave robber who is looking for gold or whatever, and him and a girl happen upon a mummy's tomb. He opens it up, and it's the cursed daughter of a pharaoh who killed her father and mother and baby brother and forged a deal with Set, the god of death, and wanted to turn her boyfriend into an avatar for the god of death, but she was stopped and turned into a mummy and sent to far away from Egypt, so she couldn't do that. Tom Cruise wakes her up, and then she selects Tom Cruise as her avatar, and she's not even really in the movie for most of it. She literally doesn't show up until like an hour in, and he becomes a mummy guy. At the end of it, he ends up stabbing himself, turning himself into a mummy man, and he's traveling around with Jake Johnson, who's his sidekick now, and there's a really funny trailer for this movie where it didn't have any of the sound effects or music in it, so it's just Tom Cruise screaming. It's really funny. It's like as the scene where the plane crashes and he dies. It's really funny. The number one thing about it, that's the thing that I realized bothers me in movies. So at one point, Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll shows up, and he has to inject himself with a serum to prevent himself from turning into Mr. Hyde, who looks just like Dr. Jekyll, but like he has a Cockney accent. Jordan, do you remember any of this? No, you remember none of this? And it bothered me. I realized it bothers me when he shows up and he introduces himself as Dr. Jekyll, and Tom Cruise doesn't go, "Oh, you mean like the book character? The guy from who drinks him? You're that guy?"
Yes, I took inspiration.
But you have exactly the same name, and you do the. So is the book based on you?
It's
but that stuff feels like they saw this script was like a spec script. They saw that it was a mummy movie, and it was about the girl was evil, and it was like she turned Tom Cruise into a mummy guy or whatever, and that was it. And all this stuff involving because Dr. Jekyll is a part of like what is essentially Shield, where they like go in and investigate.
I'd like to talk to you about the Monster Initiative.
Right, there's a name for the secret organization. I don't remember what it is. It's unimportant. But like that feels like all that shit was added on like a third or fourth pass through where they decided that this was going to be connected to other movies. Like it feels tacked on. It feels added in later drafts of this to attempt to create a universe, and it bombed horribly and nobody liked it and it went nowhere. And it's funny because they keep trying to make it happen because they made that Invisible Man movie, which you watch for the show, which they've once again tried to turn into like a jumping off point for this this interconnected universe, which I think is funny because we're kind of at the tail end of like interconnected universes are done. Like they're done. I don't think we're gonna be doing them anymore. Like I don't think there's gonna be any attempts. I think the MCU will sputter out and then interconnected universes will be dead.
For a while. And then they'll make a resurgence.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Although DC's doing all right. But yeah, this was terrible. This was really bad. I think it's probably one of Tom Cruise's worst movies. I'm unsurprised this went nowhere. Skip it. Skip it. Jake Johnson's kind of fun as his ghost pal. But otherwise, skip it.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry. I will say, it's one of the few Tom Cruise movies where a great deal of this movie is Tom Cruise getting his ass kicked by a woman. Like, there's so many scenes of her just tossing him around like a rag doll that I was like, man, this is uncharacteristic of Tom Cruise. Because Tom Cruise, I think he's got a thing where he can't lose in his movies. He has to always come out on top. He can't just get his ass kicked. So I was like, hey, good for him. He allowed himself to get his ass kicked in a movie. I respect it. Tom Cruise, I respect it. That is all right. The Mummy.
So, if that's The Mummy,
that is,
and you're done talking, and I previously talked about a mummy thing, and then you talked about a mummy thing, then I suppose that means that it's only right for me to be talking about a mummy thing.
That makes sense.
I watched Rise of the Mummy.
Third mummy thing. So is it at all connected to any other mummy thing?
No.
It's just a random mummy?
It's just a mummy thing.
He's just a random mummy thing?
So basically, archaeology students awaken an ancient mummy. They're stuck in a time loop, stucky time situation. And they, spoiler alert, discover that they have to basically survive for 24 hours. Meanwhile, the mummy is trying to put the souls of his dark apostles into their bodies. And if he does it all, then him and his cronies will be unleashed upon the world. And if they survive, then he doesn't. He loses and he dies. And then, I mean, that's all there is to this movie. Otherwise, it's your classic Jason, Freddy, supernatural horror movie where they're trying to survive against a thing.
All right.
In this time, mummy, but it looks weird. It's hard to describe, but it looks like the bandages that are supposed to be bandages. There's too many of them, and it looks like noodles almost. It's hard to describe, but it looks weird. To me, it looks weird to the point where I'm almost inclined to show you, but it looks weird. Yeah, again, this is one of those ones where it clearly wasn't very popular because nobody could be bothered to make a Wikipedia page for it. So I can't tell you what the box office for this one is, but its score out of 10 with 246 reviews is 2.4 out of 10.
Jordan, what is it about?
I already told you.
What? Give me. What is? What? Tell me a little bit more about what's the plot of it?
I already told you. The archaeology students waken a mummy, and it's trying to put the souls of his bad guys into their bodies, and they have to survive and stay awake. That's the plot. I already told you.
All right.
Like, did you have a time jump?
I did.
Did you just skip over that moment and arrive back in this moment, and thus didn't hear, or did you just zone out? Did you
Yes.
zone out? Just admit you zoned out.
All of those things are true,
I
or
knew
none
it.
of them, are true. I will not confirm
It's
any of it.
it's not a very good movie. It's really boring. Um and yeah, like I said, it's a pretty paint by numbers. It's like an hour and a half paint by numbers monster movie where the monster's trying to get them. They're trying to survive. Eh,
Nothing particularly stand out about it.
Not really. It doesn't have anybody you know. It's not made by, I mean, unless you know a director named Antonia Johnstone
Oh yeah, definitely know them
or a writer, Shannon Holiday.
for sure. Yep, recognize that name.
Stars Abby Cason Thompson, Arthur Bowen, Amanda Jade Tyler. Those names mean anything to you, Justin?
No,
Yeah, exactly.
no,
It's because I guarantee you've not even heard of this movie.
no, never heard of it. Not once.
I hadn't either until I went to my TV search bar and typed in mummies, and this popped up. I believe this one was one that was on Tube or on not Tubi,
To be.
on Roku as well.
Oh, Roku, serving up, serving up, serving up.
But yeah, that's Rise of the Mummy.
That's the Rise of the Mummy. All right. So, Jordan, once again, we must return to the
To Sesame Street.
to
Won't you
the
tell me how? Won't you tell me how to get
to the weird and horny world
to Sesame Street?
of vampires.
Damn it! I knew the Count wanted to. I knew he was. I can't. It's Sesame Street. I can't.
No, I can't. It's Sesame Street. So, Jordan, stop me when this sounds familiar. There's a young couple who are. I don't think they're married quite yet. One of them is played by Keanu Reeves. He's young and he's British. He's got a really terrible British accent. It's really quite amusing. And his boss wants him to go to. He's a solicitor, and they want him to go to Transylvania to basically sell Count Dracula, a house. And another solicitor has already gone there named Renfield, and he has gone completely insane. And so he travels, Keanu Reeves travels to Transylvania, and he meets Count Dracula. And the difference between him and Count Orlok is he's actually charming and handsome. Like even like when he shows up. Oh, fun fact! You remember that episode of the Treehouse of Horrors when Mr. Burns is a vampire?
Yes,
You know the outfit he's wearing in that episode?
the red one.
That's from this.
Ah,
That's a reference to this. But he shows up, and like, yeah, he's dressed kind of strange, and yeah, he's a little unsettling. But unlike Count Orlok, who's just straight frightening, he's just is like a kind of a charming old man. Like, yeah, he's old and slightly eccentric, but he's still charming. And yeah, you believe that that the Keanu Reeves would perhaps maybe fall for his stuff a little bit. But yeah, so Keanu Reeves sells him the house in London, and he sicks his 3 wives on him, and so the 3 wives feed on him and keep him what's the word, incapacitated, and so Dracula travels to London, and he moves into the house, he has to bring, because in order to regain his powers, he must sleep in the dirt from his homeland. So he brings with him a bunch of dirt and plots of dirt from his homeland, and the number one thing about this movie is, much like every other vampire thing we talked about, it is weird and horny. It's so weird and horny. So many people, like, at one point, the girlfriend's friend is just talking about how she wants to bang a bunch of dudes at the party, and that's where it became apparent that, yeah, vampires are like, again, a metaphor for like sexual promiscuity in Victorian London or whatever, where, like, yeah, it wasn't okay to be an available woman, and so yeah, Dracula seduces and sleeps with the one friend, and like the girl's like wandering through the woods, and she runs into them, and it's just, he's turned into like this weird bat creature thing, and it's just him eating her while also being with her intimately. It's very strange. The imagery is very weird. And then they're like, oh, I'm sure you think that vampires can't go out during the day, but they can. And so then he pops out of his sarcophagus, and instead of being old, now he's young, hot Gary Oldman, and he's attractive looking. And then just a bunch of the movie is like him trying to seduce Keanu Reeves' wife, and they sort of slowly become close together, because, oh yeah, important part of his backstory I forgot to mention, Dracula in this is based off of Vlad the Impaler. So like, one of the things with Dracula is they think that Vlad the Impaler, or that Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, based Dracula on, or Dracula was based on Vlad the Impaler. That was a popular theory for like a long time. It's since been debunked that he basically got the name Dracula from a mistranslation from a Romani word for devil, basically. And that's where the name comes from. But, so in this version of it, he is Vlad the Impaler. He goes off to war, and like it literally shows him like impaling guys on sticks and like cutting guys' heads off or whatever. And he comes back from war, and the people he was fighting against tricked his wife into thinking he was dead, so she took her own life. And he comes back to discover that she's dead, and is pissed off. And the priests and churches, whatever, are like, oh, because she committed suicide, she's going to hell, basically. She can't get into heaven. And so that causes him to renounce God, which is what causes him to become a vampire.
That was a lot, but okay.
Do you have any questions so far?
Does
any of this sound familiar?
No, not even a little bit.
Really? Because you've seen the original Dracula. It's pretty much it's very, very faithful to that movie.
I mean, all I remember of the original Dracula is he starts off in Transylvania, then he ends up in England, and he's trying to murder people.
Yeah, and same deal as in that movie. He's trying to seduce the wife. But yes, same deal here. And so eventually, Keanu
Where I
Reeves,
say, for me, at a certain point, it just all blends together.
So Keanu Reeves escapes and lets the wife know that he's escaped. And so she goes to him, and it turns out that he now has gray hair for some reason. It's never really explained why. He's just, one minute I looked up and his hair was just like white gray. And I was like, all right then, that's weird. That's strange. And then it becomes, they're going to defeat Dracula. They destroy all of his jars of dirt, basically, that keep him powered up, so he can't regain his power. So that way he'll have to go back to he'll have to go back to Transylvania, and they can ambush him there, basically. And it's got Anthony Hopkins in it, And I discovered this week that Anthony Hopkins can do no wrong. I've never seen him be bad in anything. Like he is phenomenal in that Wolfman movie, and he is really good in this. There's a point where the girl gets turned into a vampire, and she's just like, I don't know how to describe it other than how just writhing around, moaning on the bed in like a weird sexual way. Like they conflate in this movie, and they conflate vampirism with again sexual illnesses. So like at one point they call the blood ill, like, oh yeah, when a vampire bites you, you get a blood disease, and it's they call it it's a venereal disease. And there's a scene where Anthony Hopkins explains that the term venereal disease comes from the Greek god Venus, or the Roman god Venus, which I went, huh, that makes sense. Venus is, I think, in Roman mythology, the goddess of love or whatever. And
Venus, which also probably is the root word for venomous.
Maybe, yeah, I could believe that. So the back half is like she is basically become entranced by Dracula, who thinks that she's the reincarnated version of the woman that his wife from 400 years ago. So he's like madly in love with her. But like in this version of it, he is handsome and charming. So like I fully believe that she would fall for him. It's not like Count Orlok where he's gross and I'm like, I don't get this. I don't understand how this works. I don't understand the, like, when you're trying to equate this to, like, again, sexual promiscuity. Yeah, or like, oh, vampires seduce people. You're like, yeah, no. Like, I don't think Bela Lugosi, maybe he was in the 1930s, but I don't think he's all that charming or attractive in that movie. Like, they always just come across as creepy and unnerving. But in this, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of scenes of him, like, pursuing her, where you're like, yeah, he doesn't obviously present himself as a vampire. He presents himself as just a nobleman from another place. It's also got Carrie Elwes in it. It's very strange. Yeah, it's just a weird, gross, horny movie. That was weird. It was weird.
I feel like that's going to be the title of most of the vampire
Why
stuff
are vampires so horny?
So unless you have anything else to say,
no, that's Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's far my favorite Dracula movie is. It's probably Renfield, but my favorite adaptation is still probably that 1930s, 19 whatever's one. That one's such a classic.
I got the odds. Okay, so to wrap up this week for me, I watched, and I guess it's gonna lead to a question, but I watched The Witch Part 1, The Subversion, which when I picked it, I didn't realize that it was a Korean movie, but it's a Korean movie. Came out in 2018, was made in South Korea. But so before I get into the meat of this movie, I guess that leads me to an initial question. When I say witch, what makes a witch to you?
Someone who uses magic.
What is a witch?
Someone who uses magic.
Okay. So hold on to that, because I don't think what they are in this movie are witches.
They gotta be casting spells and being like oogity boogity boogity boogity.
They're more superhumans than they are witches. Anyways, so general plot of this is basically this young girl escapes from this facility where they're doing superhuman testing. And she's found by this a man and woman who run a farm. Also, as an aside, for reasons of I don't want to embarrass myself, I will not be saying any character names because they're all Korean, and fair. I don't want to embarrass myself.
And insult the person by mispronouncing their names.
Yeah, that too. Uh, so the main girl basically finds her ma and pa Kent, and they take her in and raise her as their own for the next 10 years. We get a 10-year time jump, and she's living a regular high school life, and um, we as the audience are told that she doesn't remember anything before she lived with them. She has amnesia. Convenient, I know. And so her and her best friend, um, well, her best friend convinces her to sign up for this TV show where you compete to become an idol or like a pop star or
Oh yeah,
what have you.
yeah,
It's basically like an American Idol kind of show.
yeah. Not,
Um,
not kind. Yeah, idols in Korea,
I'm
Japan.
just
It's
saying,
not quite the same thing, but I know what you mean.
it's just the kind of vibe that it gave
I
me.
know what you're talking
Um,
about.
and on the air, our main girl, who
Stevie.
I'm gonna call, yeah, Stevie, sure. She shows off her ability to use telekinesis and causes like the microphone to float or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Well, okay. But like, you can use magic, and it's still technically. I mean,
But
I
they never really
do they identify it as
call
a
it.
spell?
Not really.
Because you're right.
Not that I kind of picked up on if they
Without being
did.
like, it just kind of reads as like, yeah, like an X-Men power.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's kind of how, and that's where I'm almost inclined, even though I'm gonna talk about it. I'm almost inclined to try and find a way to make you watch this one, um, but just so you can agree with me that they're not witches. Um, but
That
so
is fair.
on the way back from the being on the air and stuff, they're on the train home, and oh yeah. Important thing to mention, her friend, and part of so I guess part of the where the magic is supposed to come in is like, um, for example, one of the first scenes that we see, our main character Stevie is at the store because her family is not doing well financially, but she's at the store. And she's haggling with the store owner and to get something for like cheaper or whatever to put it on her tab. And he's like, "You already have too much on your tab. Get your dad to pay some of it first, and then we could put more on." And then we go outside and we see that the son has been loading her truck with like a bunch of stuff for free. And so that's supposed to be, I guess, where the magic is like she can just do anything. Or she's supposed to be like really good at school. She can anything she picks up, she's like a
Okay, I don't know.
savant.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so that's where I'm like, I can see how you can make the argument, but I don't view that as being a witch.
No.
I view that as being like a metahuman.
Exactly. It's coming. It's reading more as metahuman to me. It's giving more
Yeah.
metahuman than it is witch. Witch, you gotta say a
And
spell. You gotta say magic words.
and so
Boogada boogada bigada bagada. Yeah, that's
hang on to that because as the movie goes on, it just gets reinforced. Um, but
oogity biggity boogity.
so this kid knows our main character, but our main character doesn't recognize this kid. Um, and uh, and this is where it gets weird for me because these kids, there ends up being a bunch of them, but they're all part of the place where she comes from, um, and they will occasionally speak English, and
Weird.
it's weird, so like
Weird.
they'll just go from speaking Korean, like South Korean, and then just start like speaking English, and like they have a
Weird.
perfect like Americanized sounding accent, like they don't have any
That
hint
would
of a sorry.
that would be distracting.
But it's supposed to be kind of the point.
Wait, are they
Like
speaking
there's
English because of magic?
no, but they are. There is a reason why they
They're
do.
magic because they're speaking English.
Again, I don't. I don't know why they call this witches because there's nothing in this which makes me think magic.
Oh.
I'm just gonna save you that right now. There's nothing in this which makes me think, which maybe is the idea. I think the idea is supposed to be like, oh, she does stuff which is unexplainable. So like, oh, olden times you would call someone that's different a witch.
That does make
Like
sense.
I think that's supposed to be the idea, which is why it's called the subversion.
That makes sense. That is very subversive.
Because yeah, so over the course of the movie, then these people show up. She ends up showing like that she's superhuman and like superhuman fast and does a whole bunch of things that like there's some cool fight scenes. And I don't want to give it all away.
Give it all away.
But you end up finding out basically that actually, no, I'm not going to tell you because I'm going to encourage you, even if it's not for the show and it's just on your own, to go and watch this. So I'll just say that by the end of it, she's super powerful, and I'm curious how there's a sequel because there's obviously a part 2. I'm curious how they're like where the sequel goes, and I want to watch the second part. So
Ooh. We'll find a reason to for the
we'll
show.
find a reason. We'll find a reason for me to watch part 2, and for you to watch part 1.
All right.
All
right.
Let's see. Hold on. If there's a budget, had a budget of US $5.5 million. Do you want to guess its box office?
$3 million.
24.4 million.
Oh, yeah. Reasonably successful. Wait, this came out in America?
No, this came out in South Korea.
Oh, I understand. Jordan, is that it?
That is it.
That is
Came out. It came out in 2018, and the second part came out in 2022.
All right. Okay. So my final movie and my closing bread of my Wolfman
Your climax, if you will.
of my no, because you remember this is a Wolfman sandwich. So this is the bottom part of the Wolfman
Oh,
sandwich.
it's not a vampire, so it's not.
No,
it's
it's not horny. No, this movie's not horny.
No. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one thing about this movie, Jordan. It is not horny. I could say that confidently. Wolfman 2025, not horny. This is Wolfman 2025, by the way. This is directed by... So this is not a sequel, but it's the same creative team who created that Invincible Man movie you watched. So it's directed by Lee Winnell, who is Adam in the Saw movie. He also wrote the Saw movie. It's produced by Blumhouse. It's a very small movie, much like the Invincible Man movie. There's not a bunch of huge set pieces, and the basic plot of it is... there's a guy who when he was a kid, he lived with his dad in a cabin in the woods, and they're on a hunting trip, and they see, well, what the dad says is the wolf guy. They have a name for it, but basically he sees the Wolfman, and he's on the radio with his friend. He's like, I saw him, I know he's real, we need to get him to save our boy. And the movie opens up with opening text that says that in 1995 there's some sort of illness that went amongst the wildlife and somebody disappeared. And so the dad's like, I found the thing, and then the movie cuts to 30 years later, and it's one of those movies where you could tell exactly what's going to happen because everything that happens because of the plot. So you're like, actually, that's not true. At the beginning, the one thing that they didn't, I thought for sure was going to come back, is they mentioned at the beginning, they're like, oh, there's these mushrooms that kill you if you eat them. And I thought for sure...
those mushrooms.
I thought for sure that they were going to be Chekhov's mushrooms and they were going to come back and someone was going to eat the poisonous mushrooms, but no, that never came back. But like, it's stuff... Okay, so cuts to 30 years in the future, and there's a husband... mom, a dad, and a wife, and a kid, and the wife is too busy. She's a journalist. She's too busy for her family, and the son's a writer, and he's kind of a stay-at-home dad, and they find out that his dad has died. And so obviously, okay, well, the dad died. He just disappeared. He's obviously the Wolfman. It's really obvious. It's really obvious he's the Wolfman. And the big thing was they see the Wolfman, but it's the day. Like, it's during the day when they first see the Wolfman at the beginning of the movie. And they get away from it. And the only reason why they get away from it is because the Wolfman gets distracted by a deer. And it's one of those irritating movies.
But Justin, Wolfman can't be there during day. Wolfman only there during full moon.
Exactly. That's gonna be my point. Hang on to that thought. They only get away from it because it gets distracted by a deer, and they manage to get away from it. So yeah, so it cuts to like 10 years later, and the dad has died, and the family's kind of sort of falling apart. And there's a point where the dad gets mad at the kid and yells at her. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but when you get in trouble, I lose my temper, and I whatever." And you're like, well, it's very clear that when he starts to turn to a werewolf, or he starts to become a werewolf, he's gonna act like a dick, and like, because they've like foreshadowed it. It's just really on the nose, obvious foreshadowing. And so they go to travel up to where the dad lived, and they run into like a childhood friend of his, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, the road that to get up to your dad's place is closed. I can show you the way to get up there now." And he goes to get in the car, and the wife's like, "No, absolutely not." And he gets in, and it's like they go to drive to the house, and they see the Wolfman standing there, and to avoid hitting him, they go, "Ah!" and they run the truck off the road, and it crashes. And it's just one of those moments where, like, oh, this is only happening because somebody read the script and went, "Why don't they just drive away?" And so we need to get rid of the car and remove the car as a means of escape. So they need to get into a car crash. So they gets in car crash. And then, yeah, the guy that they're with, he gets snatched by the werewolf. They manage to get away back to the house. And in the escape, he gets scratched. And the rest of the movie is him slowly turning into a Wolfman. So, like, it starts off with he initially, like, he can't understand her because his senses are so heightened. The wife, she can't understand him. Like, they're trying to talk to each other, and he's slowly becoming a Wolfman. And the Wolfman that attacked, like, he nearly attacks them, and so he tries to escape. And the Wolfman that's been attacking them bursts in and attacks them. And again, it turns out it's the dad. Big shock. And he kills him. And yeah, he tries to escape. And there's this like running bit where he's like, "Oh, you read my mind?" And he goes, "Oh, you're worried about me, or you love me, or whatever." He's like, "Ah, you read my mind." So it gets to the end, and he's like fully turned into the werewolf. And he's like, yeah, he's in pain, and he wants to be put down. And so they put him down, and the movie ends with he dies. And it's really it's one of those, like, they make him into such a nice, reasonable guy at the beginning of the movie. So it's one of those movies where, like, he's almost too nice and too reasonable, and you know it's a movie called The Wolfman, so you know he's probably going to turn into the Wolfman. And every wolf, like the other one, the beginning half of our Wolfman sandwich also ends with him dying. Like, it's just weird how, like, every version
it's because
of
there's
the Wolfman ends with him dying.
It's because the only cure for turning into a werewolf is a silver bullet.
Not according to Alvin and the Chipmunks, it's not.
Yeah, well, that's because they didn't want Theodore to die.
They want Theodore to die. But I
would say chipmunk is profitable, Justin. They're not going to kill that adorable little thing.
He's not, like, I would say there's some genuinely, like, ups. There's a point where, like, she wraps his bandages up, and, like, he peels them off, and, like, a wounded animal starts to chew at his own injury, and I'd like, stop it, please.
Stop it.
Some of the body horror is legit upsetting, but it's really slow, and it takes them entirely too long to show you the werewolf. Like, you don't get to see the werewolf till like an hour in, and also it's not technically a werewolf. Like, they treat it comes. it reads more zombie than it does werewolf because it's like
But- But Justin, once and for all, can you confirm or deny, were you the werewolf?
I was not the werewolf.
You have it here, ladies and gentlemen, once and for all. He was not
But
the
like,
werewolf.
yeah, the Wolfman is like around during the day. Like he exists like every night basically. Like the change seems to be like a more of a disease, like more of a permanent disfigurement or disease. Like again, they treat it more equivocally to zombie than werewolf. It's not like he's turning into a werewolf midnight. This movie all largely takes place in one location, the cabin, and over the course of one night. So yeah, it's not like he's slowly becoming affected by turning into a werewolf, like a regular, like most versions of the werewolf story is like they become an aggressive asshole, and that's not what this is. It's more, honestly, it reads more like he's a Wendigo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
From like, it reminds me way more of the Wendigos from
Until Dawn.
Thank you, Until Dawn. That's what it really reminded me of. Yeah, it was all right. It was, I could say, it was a lot smaller budgeted in terms of Wolfman movies. That 2010 one's still my favorite though. That one's solid. This was all right. That one's good. That one's fun. I would recommend that. This, if you're looking for if you're like it's really slow and the pacing's kind of bad, but if you like body horror, I don't like body horror, so like watching his fingernails peel off did nothing for me. Yeah, no. And watching his, like, there's a point where the transformation is complete and he like pulls his jaw apart so it looks more wolf-like. It's like, ugh, gross. That's it.
Oh.
That's the Wolfman. That was the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. But with that, we have to talk about next week. And next week comes with a series. Next week for Jordan is multiple choice. So here's the deal.
I don't like quizzes.
Here's the deal. Jordan, you have two options to choose from. Next week is gonna be slashers, / R-rated Halloween horror movies. So you can either do all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, or you pick several iconic slasher movies, different ones, different choices, but I get to pick 3 of them.
Okay, well we'll talk about that off stream.
Oh no, you got to choose now.
Oh, I don't know. I guess let's do the one where you pick 3 of them because that's fun.
All right. And then the second thing you have to choose, and this one you can't pick off stream. I, for reasons that will become apparent probably on Halloween, I'm watching all 6 of the Scream movies. But that's only 6 movies. So I have 3 that I need. One of them's going to be Terrifier 3. We're gonna go back to Terrifier 3. I am going to go back to Terrifier 3 by myself. And I'm going to see if I enjoy it when there isn't a child around. But that leaves me with 2 movies. Now, Jordan, you must pick the most disgusting, depraved movies you can think of. But the only rule is there cannot be sexual violence in it. That's it. That's your only stipulation. Other than that, go hog wild. You can pick whatever you want.
I have some thoughts.
So that's next week. Next week is going to be slasher / R-rated. So it's going to Scream, and yeah, Jordan's gonna pick. He's gonna get like he's gonna get a nice cross section of some of the iconic guys. Because I had that thought. I was like, you know what? Instead of forcing Jordan, we want to talk iconic slasher villains. Why are we just talking about one? Let's do a bunch. Spoiler alert: the 3 I pick are probably gonna be Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm just giving you the heads up now. But we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. We'll see. But that's next week. That continues on with Spooky of the Moment podcast. Jordan's going to traumatize me. I can already feel it. It's going to happen. Anyway, that's next week. Jordan, where can the people find you if they want to find you? If they want to see you, if they want to be you?
I do Minecraft Mondays on Twitch. My account is Zethgore187.
Did you just laugh
You
into the worst Trump impression I've ever heard?
you probably don't want to ask about the full
It's the
tour.
greatest Minecraft world you've ever seen. No one's built
Uh,
one better.
we built a castle.
You can find
We
me. We built a
it's
castle. It's the best
it's
castle. It's the best castle you'll ever see. No one's ever
Zeth
built a better castle.
Zethgore187
It's the best Minecraft stream you
Twitch.
can ever see. No one.
And then on Sundays, I'm here talking to you about movies.
About movies.
About movies.
About movies. And then next week. I mean, not next week. I mean, you can find me. Where can you find me? I got all confused there. You can find me on TikTok, just as Spurr on TikTok. You can also find the show, Spur of the Moment P. We post clips there several times a day, every day. You can email the show, but just once again, no junk pics. That's all we ask.
No deck pics.
No deck pics. We don't want to see pictures of your decks, of your meaty decks. We don't want that.
Love your hard wooden decks.
Hard wooden decks. You can email the show. It's just as business. You can join the Discord.
Discord,
We
Patreon,
have Patreon.
subscribe.
Yes. Let's do that. Let's do the end card, Jordan. Let's do the end card to wrap this up. Number 1, Jordan. What are people gonna get if they click the box on the left?
They're gonna get a thing from last week's thing,
Which
and
was
then this
zombies. Zombies.
and then
on
and
the
then
right.
on the right, YouTube is gonna suggest a thing that they think that you're gonna like.
Right, Jordan. And why should people hit subscribe if they haven't already? If you're not already
Because
subscribed, why should you subscribe?
Because if they do, when we hit a certain number, we're going to be eating a certain hot thing,
I mean,
and it's going to make a certain one die.
That's one reason. But Jordan, if you're here for the content, how much content are they getting every single day?
I mean, it's one thing a day.
One thing a day, 7 days a week. There's a video. There's multiple shorts going up a day. There is brand new, fresh, nom nomity,
much like the
content for you all.
much like the proverbial apple which keeps the doctor away. One of our videos may keep the frownies
why
away.
Why aren't you subscribed? All of the content is good. It's all good. You should subscribe.
Don't you want to keep those frownies away?
Also, if you don't want to subscribe, you should at the very least hit like, because that helps us out a lot. If you like, and comment. What is your favorite horny Dracula movie or Frankenstein movie? Do you like your Frankenstein movies horny? Let us know. We'll see you all next week, everyone. This has gone too far. It's gone too far.